Welcome to episode number 12 on the rocks. It's a dozen of these dongs in the
Your
joint
man
right
over
now.
here coughing on me, dog.
You go ahead.
You over here coughing on me, man.
Yeah, shirt went up, belly came out. It's Marcellus Wiley, that dude over here with my dogs, who I got here.
Richie P, straight from the south side of Chicago.
Hatch is in the building. Midwest from Cleveland, though, not from Chicago. You know how we do it.
Boom,
Boom.
Terry Jingles enjoying this sunny day in L.A.
Yes,
You know.
we in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Rub it in their face wherever y'all at.
That's right. That's right.
God dang.
UGK repping the Lakers.
UGK.
With my boy Terry right here.
Yeah, 2 bench warmers. Look at them bench warmers.
LA Fakers.
Actually, y'all can get on the court with the Lakers. They ain't that good. Oh, let me stop.
Hey, let's get into it.
It's starting early. It's starting early.
It's starting early. All right, we got to get into it for real because the Lakers just played arguably their best game of the season in a long time. Changed a lot of fans' perceptions of their hopes and aspirations this year. People are like, yo, Lakers going to have to be dealt with. We saw Luka go out there. What did he have? 32. LeBron, 25. More importantly, it looked like Luka, and it looked like a team that can threaten not only in the West, but for contention of the NBA championship. So y'all tell me, I see Laker fans in front of me. What did y'all think about the Lakers? What y'all think's coming up for y'all?
Well, I thought it was a great win. It's one of those things like we didn't have that many expectations for this season. Like I think everything that was going to happen was going to be the cherry on top, and we was building for the following season. But to see Luka play how he can play, and see LeBron still play his game too, and they win, and that they play defense. Like that's what gives you hope to see them playing defense. Even though they're undersized, they got a bunch of 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" dudes who are thick, who can play.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's what we doing when we assess players, huh? How thick he is, huh? Pause. we need a pause jar. Shout out to Cameron and Mace. We need a pause jar right there.
We got to throw the flag.
Throw the flag.
We got to get a flag.
Yeah.
But it's saying to see them be able to play that, and that's what made them play Jokic good, because all those guys are mobile, but have good size, and then they can rebound, they can hit open shots. So to see that happen, that gave us hope, because like now I don't think there's any team that in the West in a 7-game series, if they can still play that level of defense, they want to see that for 7 games. I don't see that
with
happening.
their size and their defense, and even Luka not being a liability when he's out there. Just keeping it even. I mean, you ain't asking him to shut down anybody.
He is a liability, because I saw that Charlotte game, and they kept picking and rolling him to death.
Yeah.
Getting that 1-on-1 matchup, and that's kind of how we lost the game.
Yeah.
So they got to do a better way of hiding them. And I don't know, but that's where those other guys come in. That's what being a team's about.
Yeah, that's his mom and daddy fault. Like Luka can't go sideways. It's just the way it goes.
Right.
Like his IT bands don't go this way.
Right.
Like you just see, he got them tight hips, but he a baller. He a beast. He put up 32. Yeah. His greatest defense is playing offense. What you see?
He had 4 steals, right? Luka had 4 steals in that game. The Lakers shut down the Joker. He only took 7 field goal attempts that game, right? Then you got to think about the support guys. You got DFS.
Hold that in front of you.
Dorian Finney-Smith. You got Gabe Vincent and Rui all shooting 40%. From the 3-point line, right? They're taking 5, 6, 7 attempts a game and making their threes at 40%.
Yeah.
So now we can compete with the guys like the Celtics, right? The guys that are shooting threes.
Calm
That's
down.
how you win games.
Calm down.
Now.
He went to the top of the mountain.
We're gonna take the Celtics down.
Dang, I'm glad y'all set it off.
It started Memphis.
My goodness.
Houston.
Went all the
So
way.
y'all-
Celtics talking about going back to back.
How many games in the NBA season is there?
82.
And y'all talking about 1 game?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Luka's
It
healthy.
don't
He's
mean
back.
nothing.
Here goes
One
that.
game don't. What y'all really getting excited over 1 game?
Yeah.
Yes.
After losing to the Hornets, I'm excited about that one game.
Okay, so the loss to the Hornets is just as big as a win over
Yeah.
Denver? No, it don't. To me, it don't work like. It's just like, okay, they're gonna be in the middle of the West. They'll play 1 or 2 good games in a 7-game series, but that team is not showing up for 7 games in an NBA series. Y'all
This
know-
can't be
y'all
the
know-
starter. This can't be the fire starter for what they
Would
will
do you-
become.
Do you think it is?
I actually do. I actually did
no.
throw away this season when they got Luka. I'm like, dog. I mean, everybody's played sports. Dog, it's a talent conversation before it's anything else. Now,
True statement.
Once the talent works hard, then it's hard for you to beat the talent, right?
Yeah.
But you look at this team, they can squeeze so much out of Luka, not just in how great he is, but how much more efficient he can be, how much more he can be efficient off the court to be better on the court. That's LeBron's influence. You get him with J.J. Redick, he's a tough personality, but he's a good coach. I give him that. He get them guys right. And he ain't scared that, like, you better than me, but I'm still going to talk shit. Like, I love that. And I just think the Lakers are built with all the size that they have to go out there and say, who's the best in the West? Go.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and Luka beat them by himself with a defensive Dallas Mav team.
Right.
But he beat them by himself last year. You think he ain't got confidence with a Lakers squad and LeBron to go beat them this year?
Yeah, but you think with 2 minutes left that they're not going to ISO Luka and they go at him. And that's going to be 4 games right there.
Okay, he's got 3 guys shooting 40% from the 3.
No, on defense.
On defense. Look at you. You thinking like Luka.
He's thinking just like Luka. Like they down there shooting. Like, no, we down here. We down here playing defense.
Now I'll say this: every season there's one good team that has a great regular season record who don't have the playoff experience. And it can't win when it counts. It started in the 90s with the Sonics, 2000s with the Suns, 2010s maybe with OKC again. It's
Last year, Oklahoma City did that. So this year's a new Oklahoma City team.
But
in the playoffs, they will be.
But they don't have Chet, though, either. They're not at full strength.
He's back.
Ooh, that hurt you bad. Look
No,
at you. Your face got scrounged up. Oh, man, your shoulders went
It
down.
didn't hurt me bad because it's about experience. And they still got to get a lot more experience, like, in those big games, because they didn't show up in the midseason tournament either. So those demons are still there. So I gotta see it.
Lakers showed up one time, but you talking about them showing up not showing up multiple times. That's not computing. Again, there's 82 games, and y'all showed up one time.
From a big win? Nothing big.
To me, it's not a big win yet, right? Because number one, they're just putting this whole team together, right? We're going to go back and look at film. We're going to go back and, okay, we're going to take these things away from what the Lakers are starting to do. Because that's a whole new offensive system right now, a whole new defensive system with Luka, right? And again, once in 2 months, we'll know exactly who the Lakers are from a film perspective and from an opponent perspective. And then the Lakers will have to say, okay, you guys are going to take this away, and now we're going to give you our left or go right or whatever that may be, right? But until that happens, I don't think that the Lakers have enough this year to win 4 series in a row.
Damn.
They might win the first series. They might win, but they're not gonna beat Oklahoma City, then Denver, or vice versa. I just don't see.
Well,
that
Hatch, let me say it like I tell the itty bitties when I'm out there coaching and doing a damn good job of it because I lose my voice.
Nah.
And I keep them in line because I say stuff like this: we're not playing a game right now. We're playing one play at a time. You played the whole playoff series.
Yes,
just now.
absolutely.
Like, you ain't beating.
Yeah.
Dog, do you
absolutely.
know if you get into the first series and everybody was like, oh, well, we don't expect you to do much, or we'll see. It's about next year. And then you win that one. You come out a different man.
Start
right?
believing, yes.
This is what you put on the Above the Rim soundtrack and iron out your clothes. I'm going out tonight.
Yeah,
and then as soon as you walk in the club, she said, come here. You're like, oh.
It's on. It's on. I told you.
It's 10:15 and I'm already on one.
I'm already hot.
So then by 11 o'clock, they can't keep you down.
Yeah, I'm
you
running.
in them streets in them club, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the Lakers because you got LeBron. You got Luka. Luka scratching for what LeBron already got. It just looks like the makeup of this team is you look back, you're going to say, dog, why were we overthinking this? You got 2 of the best players, 2 top 10s. LeBron might still be top 5, depends on if you respect age. But you got 2 of the top dudes in the world on one team, and they're top. They're not playing around saying, oh, okay, we SGA and Chet. And Chet's a good player, but he ain't Luka and LeBron. So that's why I think this going to work.
Is AD top 10 in the NBA?
This year he was on one.
Yeah,
he was
and
balling this year.
LeBron is as well, right? And so you're saying last year they had the same exact dudes and they didn't.
Wow, this drink is
You see what I'm
working.
saying?
But even with better defense.
But that's what I'm saying. So they didn't do it last year. They're not that much better of a team. All as much just
AD wasn't clawing like Luka because AD already got it. You know him.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think this was a big win for JJ Redick.
Okay.
Because it was the first time it looked like the team really bought into what he was preaching.
Yeah.
And they overplayed, and that was the best defensive game I've seen them play probably all year. Maybe in the last 2 years. Because they were on it. They were on it, and they shut Luka down. They put him in bad positions where he had to give up the ball. He never had a lot of space. They hustled. They were reaching in. They did everything right. So if JJ can get
Jokic.
them,
Yeah.
I mean,
I was letting him slide. I was like,
I was trying to catch up.
Maybe he catch himself. Maybe he gonna catch himself. But he old, Alzheimer's.
Jokic. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. But if they can continue that, and if they can continue to buy in to what JJ is preaching like they did in that game, then they'll be formidable. I just don't think that they will. I don't think those guys are going to be willing to put that effort in every single time.
It's always work. It's always effort. It's always intensity, huh?
I think it goes back to what you were saying about the coaching. Like last year or this year, you saw JJ had the forwards, Finney-Smith, Vanderbilt. They were all playing Jokic and made it difficult for him. That's what happened the year before we went to the Western Conference Finals. Last year, that comes down to AD and the coaching, and AD is not a big fourth-time. He wasn't showing up in the fourth quarter of those games last year.
Yeah, the wore out playing the 5. He was like, I hate this.
Yeah,
that's what it was, though.
Yeah,
so it comes down to coaching. It comes down to coaching. This year, JJ saw what worked 2 years ago and applied that in this game, and that's why it was successful.
JJ got a big brain. JJ gonna figure it out. And as a player, this is what I used to hate. When it worked, oh, y'all all bought in. When it don't work, oh, y'all not buying in. I mean, no, we bought this. We had the same credit card.
Yeah, we bought in as well. It just didn't work.
Just didn't work because the needle moves every single play.
Yes.
Not every single game, not every single series. Every single play. Like, sometimes I'm getting all of you. Sometimes I'm – all right, flag. Sometimes I'm getting.
He paused himself.
Oh my God.
That scared me. I was like, what's he doing? What's he doing?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get more than expected, more than the film show, more than you've produced on average. And sometimes I get less. And then it's like we're always trying to meet to see where this water's going to level. I think the water's going to level this year with you got Boston in the East saying we're going to repeat. That's what we're doing. We buying in right now in this last stretch run before the playoffs. We are committed to winning this last quarter and then going into the playoffs. But Cleveland, like, we got the best record. But that's the East. If you in the West, be real. You go to bed staying up over who? You can't stay up over OKC because they still got to prove to themselves that they're ready for the biggest moments. I'm really looking around like, who, what? I mean, we can look at the standings. Tell us, break it down. I don't see it.
You're saying that because from LeBron's perspective, right?
And he's only had 4 games of Luka, right? 4?
Four
Games. Right. So those standings, put an asterisk by it. That's not with Luka. That's the Lakers without Luka for 4 of those games.
Yeah, but I mean, again, the LeBron's not scared of Oklahoma City, right?
No.
But the rest of that team is scared of Oklahoma City. That's the difference.
Give it to me. Why? They might be too dumb to even know better. You ever been there?
Right. And so is Oklahoma City. Like,
no, but they
you know
are smart enough to know we should be better because of our record.
But that's what happened last. They learned from last year. They learned.
Did they learn in the midseason tournament?
They didn't. That don't mean nothing.
Oh, it means something.
You want to know what? You want to know what? You want to know where it means something? Just like we spoke about the Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh. They learned from the Super Bowl win from 2 years ago. It was a whole different thing when it comes to that playoff basketball. Yeah, and so you got Oklahoma City, you got Memphis, you got of course the Nuggets.
Memphis didn't look right.
You got okay. I'm just going right. The second hit. And again, you guys are okay, right? Then it's the Nuggets, Lakers, then the Rockets, then the Clippers, then the Timberwolves, then the Mavericks, right? The Golden State, they might be on the outside looking in with the Kings,
but they're surging,
right? So what you're saying is nobody's scared of Oklahoma City, exactly. But those 46 and 10, those 46 wins do mean something.
Oh, they mean something
when you know how to win. But last year they didn't know how to win; they were just winning. But now I think they're understanding what this means and how to win a playoff basketball game. And again, I don't even think the Lakers will go play them anyway because they'll be out earlier. When they play the Clippers or the Rockets anyway.
Going out like that.
Playoff basketball slows down. So the teams like Denver, healthy. I'm not going to sleep on a healthy Dallas team.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sleep on the Clippers either. Like those are the.
Finally,
I've
been waiting. I didn't want to be the one.
Like I said, you guys are telling me that the Denver Nuggets championship from 2 years ago, that championship experience doesn't mean nothing.
No, I think it means.
So I would have to put them above the Lakers.
It's not the same team, though. It's not the same team, though. They've lost a couple players,
but their key guys have that championship.
And old boy's hasn't been playing. What's the tall
Jamal Murray.
No, and the tall kid.
Michael Porter Jr.
They haven't been the same kind of ball.
They ain't on a lot of time this year. They got Westbrook though.
But to me, that's what the I guess the players do.
Love it.
He's
It's
wild.
just a season to them. They're just like, let us get to the playoffs. We can change our whole landscape of what we're doing in this basketball. They're like, it's regular season. They ain't tripping on that. When you have rings like that, they know how to turn it on, a la the Chiefs and all that stuff, right? And I think that's what Denver's going. Denver's a lot better playoff team than they are a regular season team.
I agree with
at
that.
this point.
I agree
of
with
We
the-
all agree
I
with
agree with
that.
that,
And I think even the players know that. But as Rome wasn't built in a day, but it crumbled in seconds, like I think that's what happens to a lot of these teams, their mystique and the confidence. So watch it. I wish I would have coached when I was little and young and playing, because I would have had the perspective that would have rounded out what I needed. Like, I was the type of player that was just out there and a lot was happening, but I was like, I'm only focused on this. But I wish I would have known exactly what my D tackle had to do priority and subordinate in terms of what his responsibilities were, right? What the linebacker going to do if I go, like, I wasn't that complex.
Right.
I was like, I go get the quarterback, it's all good.
Right.
If I don't, we got problems, right? And I wish I would have known those layers, and I say it because if you're playing Denver, you're like, okay, we know what they're going to do. It's going to all run through Jokic. Jamal Murray going to be insane, usually in the playoffs. Hey, what do we do? How do we crumble that? How do we not lose this game before we play it?
Yes.
So then you look at it, the Lakers actually in a chess matchup can attack them, as we saw just this Saturday. Like, they are big enough, mobile enough, and talented enough to challenge that. They beat them by 23. And now, look, I know it's regular season, and Jokic's like, whatever. But the point is, if you don't lose that game before you play that game, you can find yourself in that series, and with the talent the Lakers have, overcome that team. And once you get Denver out in terms of mental, ain't nobody else you even gonna think about. You ain't gonna sleep twice.
And low key, I think the Lakers are building that team to face Boston, because they got a bunch of tall wings who are athletic, who can stay up with Tatum and
But
Brown.
you gotta win the West.
I know. I'm not
first.
saying.
No, he get it.
I understand that, but I'm saying, like,
You know?
they are playing chess for the whole tournament. I mean, the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's why you're building a team like that.
So let's just go around. Where do we think the Lakers land this year? Like, where's the Lakers, the end? Is it a parade downtown Figueroa, move homeless people? Or are we just going to
They
be
know
like,
that. No, they
are we
know
going to be
that.
like, oh, damn, next year going to be crazy because we got to the second round? I mean, are you going to even surpass the Clippers? Because we know the Clippers going deep.
No.
I'm trying to
No.
But where the Lakers going to land this year? Be real.
I'll let you start that.
Oh, he's scared.
UGK, what you
I
got?
said yesterday, I actually picked OKC. Right,
To come
win
out the West.
Yeah, to come out the West. As much as I love the Lakers, when they added Hartenstein, that was it. That was a perfect pickup for the OKC Thunder. They're that big guy. The Lakers needed him. We needed him.
Yeah. Y'all
They got him for a little or nothing too.
Exactly.
Damn, y'all over there caught up on
This is
Mark
the first
Williams.
about being confident in a while, but I'm saying Lakers going to the finals this year.
Really?
Yep.
You want to make a bet on that?
I don't bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
I
really don't
I just
believe
don't.
it?
I mean,
He said, I don't gamble, especially when I'm going to lose.
that's just
Who you got, Matt? Get off your phone.
I'm looking at.
ChatGPT ain't gonna
I'm
help
looking
you.
at. You
Look
got,
over here looking.
again, Memphis. You know, I get it,
No.
but they're still winning games. The Rockets, nobody's scared of. Yeah, I don't see the Lakers going to the third round even.
All right, so who you got?
And to go to the finals,
How far? No, better question. Where are the Lakers landing? Where are they going?
they'll be out.
in the
They'll
first
be
round?
out after second round. They'll be out
Second
second
round? Where you at?
Lakers are out at second round.
Golly.
because
They're
it's
out
gonna be
second
the
round.
Clippers or the Rockets in the second round.
I'm telling Mayor Karen Bass on all y'all asses that y'all don't
outta here.
respect LA to no degree. Like, you even say Clippers, you don't think the Lakers going? I'd say the Lakers at least make the Western Conference Finals. I don't want to say they're going to be in because I just feel like I'm a jinx because I'm a Clippers fan and that's just how it goes. But I really think I'm not even lying, and I don't want to root for the Lakers just for persona reasons. In reality, I funks with the Lakers. They cool. You know what I mean? But, if we on the streets, I got a beef with you because it's Clip Gang. They are good. We're different the Clippers are good in a different way. We're good in a way where we have role player plus. Like, we got number 3, maybe 4 to 8. Good luck keeping up with us. But the games are not necessarily won with 4 to 8. They're kept competitive. But the games are won by 1, 2. And I don't know what Kawhi Nee gonna say. I don't know what James Harden's mind gonna say.
Ouch.
And that's my issue with the Clippers. But I think the Clippers it's a weird formula where I see they got a path because they can wear you down, dog. You got all them dudes that can go get it. They can wear you down, and then Harden's insane when you leave him alone. Let him be. So we're seeing Ben Simmons is.
This is what that whole team is missing a championship mentality. They don't believe.
You don't think Kawhi, who went to Toronto and won a chip?
No.
With
you want to know
Norman
why?
Powell?
You want to know why?
1 year.
Because they haven't done it. They haven't followed Kawhi's lead since that happened.
He
they
can't
haven't.
lead his leg. He limping.
Well, but
He ain't
but it's still up to him to bring them to the championship. It's up if he's going to be the leader of that championship mentality in the locker room. You would have to see that from the current players,
But
and
you
I
don't
don't see
it in
that.
the regular season because even that
I
Toronto
agree.
year,
I agree.
it wasn't like predicted they're gonna win the championship.
Right.
And then when Kawhi is right, there's no one playing basketball better than him. He's so strong, so efficient, gets to his spot. The thing is, we know he ain't always right, but there's no one out there right now. You can say Jokic if you want to. I get it because of the size. Kawhi Leonard dominates. He dominates 1 through 4 for sure. He can go play those positions. I wouldn't give him the 5. But that's the thing. We got to see with him and James Harden. You can't see how that gumbo tastes
You
good.
know what James Harden's going to do in the playoffs. You already know.
But has Kawhi ever
he
played?
He ain't doing nothing. He's gonna have, if it's 7 games, he'll have 1 good game, and the other games he'll go 7 for 35. Like it ain't gonna happen.
I think
We've seen this movie.
Hard on
Has
James.
Kawhi ever played the last game of a Clipper season? Has he been healthy?
What'd you say?
Has he ever played the last game of a Clipper season?
Hold on,
season.
technical. I can't hear him. What'd he say?
Nah.
You know that answer.
No, I'm asking. So
What do you mean asking?
That's
No.
what I'm saying. Like we can't be hard on him if he's not in the court. He can't lead them.
I can be hard on him because it's your job to keep yourself healthy and prepared.
Oh, don't do that.
I mean, I'm just
The man got chronic rock-rockrosis.
he got the T-Rexes. He got
got-
T-Rexosauruses.
He got crumbled knee syndrome. Man.
Like, I mean,
Hey,
we all want
he
to be
hurt.
healthy. I get it, but again, being great. Here's some my definition of being great, especially when it comes to sports. The definition of being great is you have to be great when it's the moment for you to be great. That's the only definition. So if we want to talk about the Kobes and the Jordans and all these guys, and we want to all of a sudden put Kawhi in that category, like you have to be great the last game of the season. Else you're not in
wait
that
a minute.
category.
Okay, is Patrick Mahomes great?
Yes.
He's been in 5 Super Bowls, 2 for sure suspect.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
third, I'm being nice to you.
Yeah.
2 other ones good to great, right?
Yeah.
So there are times where even the best don't show up, and whether it's forgotten or it's like, we got other things to balance it out.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I believe that you got to get the best out of your team as the leader.
Yes.
And it's not always about points.
I agree.
James Harden wasn't even the point leader for us this year. It's Norman Powell. He's not our leader. But he balling because James Harden's like, I'm gonna get you in position. Imagine Kawhi and James Harden both healthy, both in that position to get those number 3 through 8.
I agree. If you again, I haven't watched a lot of the Clippers, right?
I've noticed.
That's good.
Thank
chill.
thank you.
Best team in LA.
Thank you, Jesus. But so you're telling me James Harden, because this is an honest question, is James Harden playing better basketball right now than when he was playing at Houston when he was scoring all the points?
No. We're not doing that.
I really want to know the
historic.
question. I really want to know.
Dog, James Harden had months where he was averaging 40.
I know,
and
but I'm saying
it's like insane.
What you're saying is he can be a better basketball player with not just scoring. If he's doing that, I'm all in for that.
He's the system.
I think he's a better player if he does those things.
He's the system. Like when people laughed at him when he said, I'm a system, they were like, yo, you could be good in this system. He's like, no, I am the system.
Right,
you know what he meant? He's like, I'm actually right now at this age at my best when y'all get out the way. When y'all get out of my own way. I get out of my own way. You guys don't structure me. Let me cook. I will get these guys the ball where they need it.
Do you believe it?
I believe that that's a failing model for us.
I agree.
Because you're going to play a team that's like, we're going to be in your way.
Right.
And more importantly, we're going to stop you, stifle you so you don't get on everybody else. We're going to take away the signal so you ain't going to connect to anything. I don't like that. But he has Kawhi. And Kawhi can take over and not even try to connect with everybody else. So you got one guy's like, I'm trying to hook up Wi-Fi for everybody. And then one dude like, no, I got my own hotspot. I'm my own hotspot. That could be a formula. So watch for the Lakers. We saying second round.
Second round they'll be gone.
Out in the finals, maybe. We'll see them go there, and we'll see the Clippers go even further. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Y'all stupid. All right, let's get into this.
LA Fakers.
I don't know how to transition to this. Because, all right, so we got a married man, forever single, truly single, recently divorced, right? And married man. Right. So this is a tough conversation to have because, we all got history, right? But we know that we got to keep it real on this show. Steve Smith Sr., I don't know how he first of all, somebody check on him. We need one of those. Yeah. Check on my man, because that's a tough one. He got outed.
Wellness check. He got outed with receipts. So, it's one thing in this world, Fox Sports and all that, allegations. And you're like, is it true? Is it not? Let's clown. Let's send a meme. But this one didn't need a meme. It was his own meme.
He is the meme. He is the meme.
He had all of the texts. I assume all. I hope it ain't more. And he had a video of him calling Steve Smith Sr. about 2 minutes like, bruh, you've been hanging out with my wife horizontally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
biblically.
Procreatively. I hope you wore one. And the point is, I want to know first your response to this, your reaction to this, and then your advice. Like, because this ain't helping the married man out there, because it's like, dog, it must be hard in them streets, because we all saw her picture too. You're like, damn, Steve, it don't matter, huh?
He took a shot.
Hey, it's still 2 points.
It's 2 points.
Like you tell the kids, every shot inside here.
You dunk it, you lay it up, free throws.
Backwards, underhand layup.
It's
still 2
swish.
Let me pray for these people. I'm going to pray for y'all.
All right, I got it. All right, let Forever Single break the ice. Let me
I'm mad that this is what social media has come to. It really bothers me. Again, the consequences for a married couple with kids, and to me, that's what I think about, because all this stuff is in front of the family now, right? You got to explain all that. It's not easy to explain. More importantly, those kids got to go to school, and they getting clowned, and all of this stuff on social media about outing the other people involved is absolutely getting ridiculous, right? Yeah. Now, if you're in the limelight, which is just going to be worse. So you just got to be even more careful at the end of the day. But this whole social media thing is really getting out of hand to me.
I caught two things you said. One, you got to be more careful, which is interesting because we already skipped past, you ain't going to stop. You just got to not get caught this. And if you get caught in the cul-de-sac. Let Betsy over there not bring cookies no more. Because, oh my God, I saw Steve last night. But this is for the world's exposure. And I love the part about the family suffers the most shame.
Yes.
Collateral damage.
Damage. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, because, again, if you're going to be that superstar in that light, again, it's not game. Obviously everybody knows it. But why don't you have another phone? Why don't you have I remember D. Ray Davis used to say, pimp-proof your life. Why are you not ahead of these things if this could possibly happen? Nobody should be calling you. The other should not be calling you.
Well, no, this is not foolproof. This is why I should tell my boys in the locker room when they have bad phones. I was like, you're going to get twisted. You ever jump rope? When you mess it up. When it's in the air, you're like, I'm about to get talking. Yeah. When you playing double dutch, be second place or third place. I forgot. Double dutch ain't about you just only. I could jump.
It's everybody involved.
Y'all turning it wrong, right?
Right.
So a bat phone, if you get the call from the bat phone of you, Steve Smith Sr., you still answering it because it's Becky, right? Becky.
Becky with the good hair, right?
And then Becky is now Bob, and Bob is like, hey, you've been messing with my wife, sleeping with a woman. So there's no full proof on the back phone, dog.
He has to understand all parties involved are doing the same thing. If she needs to pimp-proof her life as well,
pimp-proof her life.
right? So
what she did, his name was 3, and I don't know why.
Maybe
whatever.
he's number 3. I don't know. Maybe she's
got
been
3
doing
meters,
this.
3 meters of meat.
Hey, 3 a.m.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I
It's
take it.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
I just think like nothing's done. What do they say? Nothing's done that won't come to light, right?
In the
Nothing.
dark, that won't come.
In the dark. Everything done in the dark.
Yeah.
Everything. Now, the thing is, you just want to get caught and get a felony sentence. Not like this, right? You want a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
And he got the
got
felony.
the chair.
He got the life.
He
got
getting the
the
check.
and he didn't have anything to say about it.
He said,
when
my
old
bad.
boy
What he said,
called
my
him.
bad? He said,
He
I'm
said,
sorry.
I'm sorry, and then he just
silent.
He just got quiet.
Oh, excuse me. Give me an alternate response.
Well,
I've been digging around.
Hang up. Hang up.
I mean, right? I mean,
I would hang up.
First of all, why
Hang
did
up.
He
Take
did after a while, after the shot kicked in.
Hey, hang up.
Quicker.
What?
That
But
was
then he might be on. He be like, I know where Alina live. You know what I mean? Men of society. hey, I'm listening to him to monitor.
Make sure he ain't crazy.
Yeah, his wellness.
Well, and Steve Smith was in a spot because the answer would have been, hey man, you need to talk to your girl about that.
And that's the wrong answer, but the right answer.
That's the right
That's
answer.
the G
But
answer.
he was thinking, oh shit, I got
about
my
me.
own girl to worry about. So he was hitting it 2-pronged. But oh boy, I don't think oh boy handled it right.
Ooh, let's go, OG.
I don't think he. I would
there a
have
right
never.
way,
I would have
though?
never
That's the whole
ever put that in the streets. Like, I mean, your girl.
That's probably why
obviously,
she's cheating, because you ain't the type to know what to put out there.
Well, no, she's cheating because he is the type to
He the type-
do that dumb
Exactly.
shit. So it didn't make him look good.
But
He
blind.
ain't worried about looking good. Though.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but what was he trying to accomplish?
on, you ever
Trying to
been cheated
accomplish
on?
about being.
What was he? I don't know. Not that I know of.
Never that you know of? Oh, I know of.
That's interesting. That's a
That's
thing.
a thing.
That's a thing. A lot of people don't know.
I know I've been cheated on, and I assume the others, a couple of them did, because one, I just know how these. First of all, I don't ever think anybody goes undefeated other than the 72 Dolphins, right?
That's hilarious.
So when I was out there being, and I hate to sound like this guy, but I was Wild Style, my first nickname, and y'all can understand where it came from. And then that dude, I was out there winning. But guess what I knew? Somebody else is winning with me. And I was like, all these girls, you know, every now and then I call you, and she's like, oh, I passed out last night.
Lying like a mug.
I got teenage girl. I know.
I
We
know
both left the
you
club
want-
together.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
ain't go straight home. And you know him too. So, like, I always assume.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah.
But see, we're way past that with this.
Yeah, we are.
This is old
because
boys.
you're also dealing with another celebrity.
And they just got married.
Who did?
What?
Who
I didn't know
did?
that.
Oh boy,
Oh, boy.
and his girl just
Really?
got married in like September.
That's all bad.
So
She couldn't make a year?
So that's to me we're talking about dude and we're talking about Steve, but the real conversation needs to be about this
about
female
I agree.
and their relationship
because
Obviously,
everybody sweeps the
it
female
was-
portion under the rug. Oh well, she did that. No, she needs to be responsible as well.
I'm gonna quote the great rapper Big Mike in 1994.
Ooh, another underrated. One of the best
Underrated.
to do it.
He said, "You don't check the pimp, you check the hoe."
Damn.
Now, that's real talk. Now, oh boy.
That's on Google.
Now
I
listen.
don't think there's any real.
Google
But now, oh boy, the husband, he had to make a decision, and he made a bad decision.
He didn't
That's
make a
what
bad
you said.
decision. He just made a decision.
No, he made a bad decision because like he put his wife's business out there. If
That's
he
what
get
he-
back,
Ex-wife.
If he gets back with like,
When
if
you
he
do
gets
this,
back with
it's
her,
ex.
because he's emotional. If he gets back with her,
Ooh,
he
good point.
might.
Good point.
He's got to step back out in the world with her.
Yeah, great
and everybody's
point.
gonna be looking at him.
Yeah,
Like,
Becky
bruh.
and
Yeah,
Bob.
Where your
again, you guys
pride
are-
at?
You guys are missing the whole point of him doing that for social media. He's putting it out there so he becomes the celebrity. He's popular. He's gonna be the man.
He's weak.
gonna have more people.
He's weak.
coming.
Yes.
That's how
He's
you
weak.
look at him.
You
But
play
yeah.
the victim card and
you
get that,
play the
yeah.
victim card.
Ain't nobody
That's-
following
there's
that
no-
dude because he
there's
got
no-
cheated on.
Yes,
That ain't
you're
no
talking
brand.
about-
That's
yes,
not
they
winning.
do.
That's not a brand. Oh, well, winning or
Dudes
not.
don't, but a lot of girls would be like, "Oh, that's all right. Don't forget about
Not
her."
the ones he want.
I'm telling you.
No, that's
These,
interesting.
these
Okay.
girls will be like that. I mean, that
No,
fool
what,
is weak.
what girl you
That
talking
dude
about?
He's weak. He's
No.
putting all this
Girls,
shit
no.
out there.
How about this? All right, let's go step by step. All right, somehow, some way, and they always say you looking because you feel it, because you know it.
Yeah.
Right? So raise your hand if you ever been through somebody's phone. Yeah, me. Look at you, motherfucker. Everybody do it, but y'all don't. Okay, I do it. So I'm already leaking.
Not do it, done.
Yeah, did it.
Did it. I did it.
Oh, it ain't
I
good
done it.
either.
Never.
First of all, when you do it, all you gonna see is what you don't want to see, which is what you already knew. Damn it! So then you're like,
Right.
fuck! And then you shit.
That's when your stomachs are hurting.
Hey, hold on.
Your stomachs are hurting?
We gonna take a 3-minute break.
take it down.
We
Terry,
gonna
you
take a
gotta go
3-minute
take it
break for
down.
Marcellus to go through this right now.
You got to do the tray style. You got to do the tray.
Man, you hot 100, right?
Yeah.
But then, look, social media makes it like there's an escape. And there's different weapons you can use. One is, I'm going to keep this all to myself, right? Partly, if you cheating too. If you cheating, you like, all right, I'm 87-1. She got one on me.
Got one on me.
But if you not cheating, then you like, yo, she got to feel this.
Right.
So you have your confrontation, which is usually a heated conversation, argument, blah, blah, blah. You guys make up, and then you guys both knowing on ice, we have a little issue we tucked away. Mm-hmm. Then there's the social media element where you're like, I'm going to travel down this road because there's nothing worse. My therapist told me this. The most everlasting emotion, and he said basically the worst emotion is, and I was like, what, hate? He was like, nope. I said, anger? He said, nope. Shame. Because if you've ever been shamed, you go nowhere without thinking everyone knows it and torturing yourself. You've hated someone before and got over it.
Yeah.
You've been angry at your wife or anybody and got over it. He said shame, no matter where you go, you're going to be like, they thinking about that.
It's internal.
Every time you shake somebody's hand, oh, he about to clown. Oh, he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't.
He see in
oh,
my
he didn't.
eyes.
It's forever, right? So I'm like, damn. So the social media angle was interesting because I think he wanted to shame her.
Yes.
Shame Steve Smith Sr.
Yes.
In process, get his fingers and hands dirty because he's shamed.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think that was the best weapon to play. There was no other way to play this other than tuck it away. But you just got married, you said, the other day? There's no way to tuck this without letting her feel some of that pain.
He better leave her then. He
He didn't sound like he was leaving her.
Exactly.
That's what.
So he's going to shame himself.
So that's why. That's my whole thing.
Exactly.
He's like, he didn't say, Steve Smith, you've been sleeping with my almost ex-wife now, and you can have her.
Exactly.
He was like, what you got to say about it?
Well,
You're sleeping with my wife.
Well, again,
what you got to say about it?
It's
Oh,
not-
bro, you
He
talk-
might have let it happen if Steve would have just came to him like a man and said, look, dog.
Yeah, I roll.
It sound like if you ain't gonna leave her, it might sound like we can
We can do this
up.
together. Yeah, we can do this
three-piece
together.
this with a biscuit. Hey, Popeye's got this. Three-piece this shit.
Stop
Don't
by,
act like I don't have it.
stop by the liquor store on your way.
I'm gonna leave for about 3 hours. Y'all go ahead and do what y'all gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so that's tough. And the tough part is, okay, cheating is it. One lane. Cheating attached to getting caught is a whole different conversation, right? So let me lead.
That's the second lane. The third lane is cheating into another whole relationship, cheating multiple times.
Yeah.
That's the new level that because this was not their first time.
Good point.
So again,
She was
they're in a
associated.
relationship at this point.
That's what I don't understand. Like all my boys out there that I know that cheat, I used to always say like,
Wait,
it ain't me.
wait,
You know why?
wait.
Because I ain't gonna have no relationship. Like, you got me fucked up. What? Your name is? I was like, dog, how you gonna boo up the sidey? Like you just met her, and then it's like, oh, is she different? She cool. I was like, yeah, she different. She cool. She ain't your wife.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But try and transfer these funds.
Yeah.
Declined.
And
That
as soon as you
never
spend
works.
all the same amount of time,
Yeah.
you're going to have the same issues with this one
She-
that you have with any other one.
Because she told you, I'm for the taking. And you took her. You look, you get took. He took her. Now, you think she's just going to say, that's all I wanted in life. Nah, you're going to bring her around all your boys, and she going to be like, oh, he looked. Now, he took. Because no matter who you are, you got a friend that's fresher than you. And you got a lot of friends that are worse than you, right? Like, imagine in our world, we know some people that are like household names. I can't take you there.
Can't take you there. Can't take you there.
Not if you're on iffy ground.
I can't take you there.
I met you on the side, and now I'm gonna take you to the spot.
No.
I'm gonna lose you soon. We walk in the door.
It's an old saying: the way you went in is the way you're gonna go out.
The way you going
Yeah.
out, and there's no way. Look, Steve, I think he just like, look, this girl happy to know me, happy to get this.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing's
from
gonna
this.
happen because she gonna be so smart, protective, and I think the wife probably thought she had it on lock. You number 3. I don't know why.
There's something there to that 3. I guarantee.
yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know what
I don't
it
know.
is, but it's
Was that his jersey number?
No, he had 2 digits.
Is
89.
he Steve Smith the third?
The second, I think.
Wait, investigators over here.
Senior.
He's number
He's a
1.
senior.
Oh, he's senior.
Why? Okay, I need this answered because this is not me. I ain't perfect. I do a lot of dumb stuff, but I don't do this. Why are you texting? This is like junior high on. I didn't
Why are
write
you
crazy letters.
texting somebody who's
Your
not your
yearbook, when
wife?
people were like, sign my yearbook, I was like, you cool. Like, I'm not.
No, stay cool.
Stay cool. Right.
See you
I'm
next
not
year.
giving you more. You ain't looking back at me crazy. Now, I'm sure in my mind, I'm imagining that I never did it. And in the reality, I probably did. But Steve Smith Sr. with 4 kids and a wife.
Hence the bat phone.
Okay, but what's the you already got her on the side and she tucked
Yeah,
away
but
good.
You like
why you got the
right?
bat signal saying
Yes,
you-hoo?
Because, like you're saying, why would you text somebody that information with your wife and kids? That's why he would have to have another phone. So if that were ever to come up, that's
I don't care if I got the president's phone. I'm not texting. I'm going deep in you. Yeah, like first of all, I ain't never seen nobody splash on the screen. So like this ain't doing nothing for me. Like this screen's staying dry no matter what I write, right? So what we talking about? Like what? Like put the movie on. Okay, I'm gonna react. If the movie ain't on, turn the TV off. Like this is
Right.
what we doing here. Like she has nothing to lose in that. And he has everything to lose in that. Think about it. You Steve Smith Sr., you giving her more receipts. Why can't everything be like, you good? Oh, and she know, nah, I ain't good.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be more generic in that conversation. He seemed like he just was oblivious to who he was.
Like they wanted to have a sexting session,
Sex
but
off.
it never jumped off. It was like the worst. Oh, next time maybe. Blah, blah, blah. It was the worst shit ever, dude. Either get in there or get out of there.
they're not all. They're not all writers like you, bro. They don't. You know what I'm saying? You're professional. They don't.
Ain't no script to this.
I mean,
Yeah.
They're amateurs.
He got busted on some dumb shit. Really.
Maybe he just gang goofy and ain't got no game. Maybe he's a square with that in that world.
interesting.
There you go.
That's what it is.
I know I'm guilty of texting anybody, as y'all know, at any time. So that's my worst thing. Like I will text. It could be a girl too. Like I wake up and because it's like when I go through the day, I don't know how many texts I get. I don't know. I'm like, say 50. I'm not answering all 50 texts because then I'm not present. My kids are like, Dad, and I'm like, oh no, I got to hit Eugene back, right? You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm gonna hit him back because it's not pressing. If he said, yo, Wiley, look out, I'm like, oh, what? So I hit you back. It's 2 in the morning. It's 3 in the morning. Right. I'm not coming from the club no more. I used to. Now I'm just hitting you back. So what's up, girl? What you doing? Oh, I see you drunk. And then that could be looked at as like, oh, you hit her at 2:34. Talk about you drunk.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, but it ain't nothing to me. Like
Well,
I just
but-
got up. I just woke up at 2:30. But I'm aware of what I'm stepping in. I just don't know why Steve Smith Sr. would do that other than the power of the P.
Yeah.
It's undefeated. Like the
undefeted.
72 Dolphins down there.
Undefeated,
He
bro.
married, she married. He thought that it was going like they got both something to lose.
What about wifey, Steve Smith Sr. wife? What'd she do? What's her response in this moment right now? What do you
Nothing.
think? Did she just stay still? Because if you divorce him, I think you look worse.
She's not gonna divorce him, but just don't come on social media. Don't
leave?
make no statement. Well, that's the dumbest stuff ever.
That is. Turn the TV
Just
off.
turn it off
So
and
raw
go
and
about-
emotional right
you
now.
Got,
You don't
I'm
know.
like,
You don't know
You
what you
can't
gonna
think
do.
straight when you're that raw and emotional.
Like him, I don't think the guy thought straight, and he just
no,
blasted
he was
him.
like you said, when you was looking through that girl's phone,
Yeah.
right, and when you was all right, that's how he was feeling. So I'm gonna put this on social media. But
Yeah.
you probably came down in like a day. He didn't come down for like a week.
Well,
Yeah.
Like, he's
even his
emotionally.
boys were like,
That's what I'm saying.
Tony, take that shit down. down. This isn't a good look,
This
bro.
ain't it.
No.
This ain't a good
Because
look.
you're going to have to walk around with all these
You gotta
Twitter
fix
followers.
this stuff
They're not
later
going to
on
be
in
with
life.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So my first time getting cheated on that I remember. I'm not going to count the 4th grade when John Aragon tried to touch Marine's booty. Hey, I still feel it, though.
Still holding on to that
It
one.
was close. It was close. It was like,
You better not touch
the
your
wind
booty.
of his pants touched her. I was like, yo, man.
Get over grammar school, Michael Jordan.
I'm just telling you how he got into me.
He took it personal.
But that seed didn't get planted. But 8th grade did. So my homeboy Gumby, I was having like beef with my girlfriend at the time, super fine, named Davita, respect. She wore Guess jeans every other day. Like she wore Monday, Wednesday, Friday was white Guess jeans. And boy, that triangle was stretching. Like it was just insane. I was like, damn.
Turn into a square.
Oh my God, Asasa Lees. I was like, God dang. So she was the finest thing I ever could pull. I was dusty in 8th grade. I was focused on ball and books. I was dusty. I admit it. So I had a bad one. I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm tucked away. We start having beef. Largely now looking back is because everybody wanted her, and her head was starting to get full, and she was about to move. So she stuck. She like, is this my husband for life, or should I get a few of these wins in before I go in the win? Right? I didn't know all this in the moment. I'm wiser now. So then I send my boy. Now my boy, I knew he was fresh. He had girls everywhere. Gumby was the man, and he wore. This is like 8th grade, so we like 14, 13. He already wore a 14 shoe.
Leave
Leave my girl alone, dog. Ain't no coming back, right? So I'm laughing. All right, we go to her apartment, and I knock on the door. She almost closed the door in my face. I'm, no, I want to talk. And she was like, what? And I'm like talking to her to the door right here. She got the chain on. Remember the old school apartment?
Yeah.
I'm talking through this little window, 8 inches. I'm like,
And
yeah.
it didn't even hit you like, why am I talking through the chain? Didn't even register.
Wait. No, wait, it gets worse.
This sounds like a scene out of Baby Boy.
Jody! Y'all got dirty minds, because it didn't even go down like that. Finally, I still got game. Like, I don't look good, but I got game. She unlocked. All right. She's like, what do you want? Why are we talking about this and all that? You already showed me how you felt. And that was some reverse, like,
Psychology,
because she was the one trying to step out. So then I had my boy. I was like, look, I don't know how to articulate this. I don't know how to say this to you because you're not understanding it. My boy here, he going to tell you everything I said. So I was like, Gumby, tell it. I'm thinking this is like me deferring, telling my boy to speak for me. Oh, this going to work.
Oh, you went Cyrano on him.
Yes.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yes, he knows. I played it. So then I was like, he was like, you know what? And she was like talking. I'm right there. Shut your asses. So then he was like, yeah. And he was like, you know what, Sal? Let me just go right there. Let me handle it. Smart, right? I'm still thinking, he really about to lean in, right? Man, I ain't talking to y'all no more.
Gumby got you. Gumby got you. Gumby slid all up in there.
Wait,
Girl, I can tell you what he's.
Wait, so then her mom comes home. And her mom loved me. So mom comes home and she's like, you guys get out the front of the door. What y'all talking about? Just go over there. So we all go. So then now I go downstairs. They stay upstairs. Mama go in the house, apartment. 5 minutes go by. 10 minutes go by. Like, it's getting quieter up there. About 15 minutes go by. I finally come up the stairs like, yo, I mean, am I winning or not, right? I'm checking the scoreboard. And I don't see him. And then they had this emergency exit that was really dark. And then it led to that, like, you go on top of the roof of the apartment building and like in Juice or some shit, right? So I'm like, I'm looking and I see feet, a big ass foot too. That's gonna be, right?
A 14.
Right.
It's that 14.
What you saw, the 14. You said, say less. Yes, sir.
And I ain't gonna lie, this is it. Let me get out this long ass story. I get up there and finally the light hit me. They don't see me. And the light hit me and I could see, and I think I saw my boy kissing my girl hugged up in the dark, right?
That's awesome.
Damn.
I want him to feel this moment. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
And I was like, Gumby. And he was like, what's up? Say, what's up? And I didn't know how to register that flustered sound.
Moment, yeah.
In the moment, I was just like, are y'all good? Y'all finished talking? And he was like, yeah, Shut your asses.
Knowing he well, he talking to her in French.
Yes.
I fast forward. I didn't know, and then he told me, he was like, yeah, I kissed her. And I was like, oh, shit. And if I had social media, if
you would have went on at that moment.
In that moment when he told me, I did not know what straight was. I didn't know what was the best thing. I know that I wanted everybody to know she ain't shit. My first thought was like, she ain't shit. Then, hold on, you ain't shit. And then it's like, well, I am somebody who got violated. So I want the whole world to know.
Feel bad for me. Victim mentality.
Yeah, but you were 14. This is a grown-ass man we talking about. so
you don't handle your emotions like that at that age. But again, it might be if it's the first time he's ever went through this, he's gonna handle it like a 14-year-old.
True.
You got to go through heartbreaks.
He ain't get cheated
14
on 4th grade and 8th grade.
You
like
feel what I'm saying?
right.
If you did it, and this is the first time you've been cheated on at 30 or 40 or 50, you're gonna react like a 14-year-old boy.
And they only been married for 8 months.
There you go.
What did he expect Steve Smith to say? I mean, it's,
What more can I say?
He wasn't. That's where he really went wrong.
No, I think he wanted Steve Smith. He obviously looked up to Steve Smith. He obviously knew who Steve Smith was.
They worked together, remember? Yeah, because they worked. The wife and him.
The wife
together.
worked there, right?
So
she
the
worked
wife,
for the team.
the wife was in the band or some
the
shit
band
like
of the
that.
team.
Yeah,
right. She was playing that trumpet, right?
Blowing that trombone.
Somebody says something. Somebody says something about a trombone.
Bass. She was taking it, right? So I think in that moment, he wanted to feel like he somehow could be more the man than Steve Smith was. Because it's one thing to look up to a guy and wear his jersey, which is all, that's tough. But it's another thing that dude dug your wife out. And you're like, I think he wanted Steve Smith to settle the score. And there's no way that I think Steve Smith could have, and that's what Steve Smith calculated. That's why he was so quiet. Like, if your hero does that to you, you at least want your hero to make it right. And there's no way. Ain't no way.
I'm sorry is better than he could have reacted angry, just blown up on that. Made it worse. He could have made it a lot worse, but he said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the best thing he could have said.
Probably the best thing he could have said.
He was accountable. He said, I'm sorry.
I mean, this man, the fact of the matter is this man's wife was writing notes to Steve Smith talking about gagging on his thing. He needs to have a talk with his wife.
Oh, beyond.
That should have been the first.
I think the
first, second, and third thing.
But it's too late. If wife's stepping out like that,
that's
for the streets
done.
Anyway. She's for the streets anyway. It don't matter. It's not just Steve. It's somebody else. It's whatever.
Yeah, this ain't her dancing at the party doing the most. This is
not her on top of the apartment building.
This is the deep end.
Gumby. This is not it.
This is the deep end.
You gotta walk.
She's swimming.
All right. Have anybody, before we get off this, any of y'all ever been cheated on, you macho motherfucker? Oh, you have?
I'm not gonna talk about it, but I've been cheated on. No.
Get over it.
It's done.
That 14-year-old boy is not about to come out.
I even the score, but yeah, it didn't feel good though. Like like you said, pride and like. Do people know? It's like I got
cheating. No, there's not always just sexual cheating.
Emotional cheating is bad
emotional, all that stuff. Yeah. So I think everybody's been
yeah, but sexual the worst. No,
I don't know.
You can flirt all you want, just don't get funked.
No, I think emotional cheating might be worse.
No,
you want to know
funkified? No,
because again, there's been girls who have been in year relationships with men in prison or far away.
Good point.
That have given them their whole heart for years and wouldn't tell their husband anything. So
but did they give them the nappy?
No, but to some dudes that's worse though. They're like, you've been sharing and telling him about our relationship and
no, that feels bad. Hey, look, if my wife at a party and a dude buy her a drink and she just says thank you and then keeps the conversation going, I'm already like, yeah, nigga.
Why you?
Fuck wrong with y'all? like, I got drink money too.
You've been done with your drink 30 minutes ago.
Hey,
Why you can't just ask him his name 14 times?
He said, "You better pour that out."
Yeah. How about the dude that is speaking to your wife and he don't even acknowledge you? She got to be like,
that's not an option.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
Yeah.
She got to break like, oh, wait a second, this is my husband, because he like this.
She has.
And he see you
No,
right there, and he
no.
like this.
Nah, you ain't.
You know me, homie.
If she don't do that, you with the wrong one. That's
Right.
facts.
But the onus, like I'm already looking at you like, oh, you don't see me right here?
Yeah.
And that's not emotional cheating on her. It's like,
No.
oh, this fool trying to really just
Right.
go in.
But I think emotional cheating is deeper, like you were saying, as far as like.
Tell your story, Larry.
No, I didn't get the emotional cheating. So I just understand.
Why you crying though? why your voice go high?
That's hilarious.
Why your voice go high, man?
Terry,
I never been emotional. No.
We listen
Terry.
and we don't judge.
I have never been emotionally cheated on, but I'm saying that, like, as somebody who's an observer and a writer and who has emotionally cheated on people, like that's differently that's a deeper thing. The sex thing, that's an act. That's a 15-minute act. It's done. You move on to the next one.
You take it forever, huh? 15? You run a marathon, bro. 15? Shit.
2000.
That's 15 people.
Hey,
15. What?
that's me in my prime when I was cheating.
I'm saying, these shots,
When I was cheating.
hey, we Kobe pump faking now. Like, man, I ain't got no shots like
But I'm
that.
saying that emotional cheating, like once you checked out there, then the relationship is done. It's done. It's over with.
Once
probably-
you check out
Some
emotionally,
people, but a lot of people, they don't leave the relationship because they've been cheated on.
Nah.
That's just nowadays. It's like, okay, we can work through this, or
Yeah.
they want to work through it, or just made them
Yeah. It's a lot of
realize
work.
who
Yeah.
Like this
they
dude,
are.
Hatch, he's not leaving his wife.
He might not.
I don't think so.
He ain't leaving
They got
his wife.
kids?
But I don't think it's
Oh,
about.
yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
Right, but I don't think it's about this one time. Again, if she comes back and says, "Yes, I've been sleeping with all these," then
Yeah,
it's
the
gonna
whole
be-
Panthers, the whole
we
special
just don't
teams.
know. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
don't think this has nothing to do
and
with.
one thing
if
I
they leave.
learned a lot in college, I caught one of my good friends' girlfriends coming out of a frat house at 6 in the morning. I was going to tennis practice.
Come on,
6
man.
in the
Right.
Early
morning.
study hall.
So
happens.
I told him,
Sex ed.
and it caused an uproar, but he never left her.
Oh,
Right.
now
Then
you
one
look
of
like the bag.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then I look like and that was a valuable lesson.
That's a
to
lesson
me.
learned.
Don't
yeah.
It's
say
like don't say
nothing.
nothing because
Nope.
you don't know how the response is going to be. And most people don't want to break up, and most people don't want to break up
wanna break up.
under that circumstance.
They don't want to break
What
up.
if you know the couple though? Like, because it's a lot of like
Couples
being
is
married.
different.
I know both.
Yeah.
Like when you're single, you know her, you know him.
But you have.
What if I know the couple and it's like,
But
do
you
I
know
do?
one better than the other.
True.
You met, like, if that's just your dude, and like I said, now the wife comes over for dinner, and I know them as a couple. That's one thing. But if you see the dude coming out from a hotel at 6 in the morning, you know you ain't gonna say nothing to her.
Nope, no.
But if you see her coming out, you probably might say something to the dude.
You know, that's a great point. I'm in a place where right now, because I like happy homes, even if they're cheating, because I still think there's happiness. Even like
There
they've
can
been,
be. There can
they've
be.
come over and they've been great. And I don't know what happens behind closed doors. They don't know what happens behind closed doors. I don't want to be the one that blows up that spot. So I wouldn't tell either one, to tell you the truth. And I've seen some things before from some of my friends. I tuck away a lot of secrets from my boys, but sometimes I know something about that girl, and I'm like, nope. Yeah. I've been to 2 weddings. Let's say this. I've been to 2 weddings where the dude married someone I had been with before, and no one knows. And she
Except
knows,
she
and I
knows.
knows, and I'm like, girl, I will never out you. But you better not tell
Out
this
me.
fool 10 years from now.
I
you know,
right.
guarantee she did.
and he ain't told me either,
I
huh?
guarantee. That's why you have to say something first.
No.
If you
No,
would-
he
no.
fell in love too fast, and I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna blow that up.
Yeah,
he didn't know who she
you're
was
not breaking
when
it
we
up.
knew her.
You're just doing it as an adult because now they know about you and you don't know.
Had you assumed that she said something? She
no, I'm
won.
not assuming.
You
I
know?
guarantee.
What?
That's what they do.
Really?
When they're
Well, maybe
She
maybe,
won.
maybe
So.
not to the
I don't
husband.
think she- nah,
Somebody
Hatch, don't get me
knows.
fucked up.
I
Her
guarantee.
best friend-
Okay, hold on.
Somebody
You-
knows.
So
Say
now
something
all of
to
a
you.
sudden we go give
How's
the
it
benefit
benefit
of the doubt that girls don't talk.
No, they don't
okay
talk about
then.
that.
Absolutely, they talk.
All right, listen to that. Hatch, somebody you used to date or mess with or just knew who she was, right? With all that. And then all of a sudden you ain't talking to her. You on your way, she on her way. Then all of a sudden she come back in love. And tell me I'm about to get married. And then it's to somebody you know. And you're like, oh, I didn't know y'all were. You would blow that spot up?
Not at all. I've
either.
got
I didn't.
2 exes that married my ex-teammates. I've never
I'm there.
said anything, but
I'm there.
I didn't know him well enough,
Right.
and I don't know her well enough, right? Because it's a relationship after a year. Like, that's not a known relationship. You see what I'm saying? But if you were like really with this girl, she's gonna say something to him over the years. God. Not at the beginning. But after 5 years, when they're comfortable, they had a kid or they had 2 kids.
She got them stuck.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they'll eventually say something, for sure.
I hope not, because I don't want this motherfucker going over. Why'd you say something, homie? I was like, man,
Right,
you was in love.
She's not going to want her man, somebody else, to have something over her man. So eventually she might say something to follow
Yeah.
that
But
point.
what if she like, Marcellus ain't the one? Like, he cool. He ain't tripping. He
But
ain't
then that
saying
tells me everything anyway.
that what?
If the chicks go say all those things
To herself.
Oh, I thought you were saying it to the
No.
Okay,
If she if I've gotten away with it this long, why would I ever want to jeopardize what I got going?
Y'all,
No?
Because
they
if
say
you cool,
everything.
if y'all cool, right? You don't want to be shaking somebody's hand and be like,
Oh, me? Oh, I want to know.
the word.
My first
That's
question to
what I'm
girls when I
saying.
dated was not even your name, not even your signs. Like,
Who
you been
else
with?
would I know?
who you been with?
What's wrong with you?
This circle is way smaller than what
Way
people
small.
think.
Yeah.
When I heard a name,
Yeah.
I
Way
registered
smaller.
based on how close am I with him. Can I deal with it? And sometimes
that's
I
that
couldn't.
part. That's
Sometimes I couldn't. I was like, nah, that's the
Question:
homie.
Can I deal with it?
But
That's the question.
some people in the circle, we're professionals, and I don't want to use the word stalkers, but we're professional, right? I can go to Chicago, O'Hare, right? Huge airport. If it's Monday morning and I see a girl walking to Delta to Miami, I can pretty much narrow it down to about 5 or 6 dudes who she went to see on the Bears. It's really that's how small the circle is, right? Because again, number one, you take
When
out.
keeping it real goes right.
Am I
You
right,
ain't
son?
lying,
Am I
dog,
right?
dog. People be thinking we
Because
guessing.
again,
I'm like,
we
nah,
got
I know
50,
this.
if you got 53 dudes,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you take out all the married dudes.
guys.
You take out the linemen that really wouldn't do that.
We
You take out,
shouldn't.
okay, the white dude really wouldn't mess with this
Yep.
chick, right? So now that leaves about 15
You
left.
don't want that
And
rat.
then you,
It's
and
only
then you,
4
and
dudes
then you
with
say,
game
and
on
then the
any
girl
team.
walks by, hey, what was you? I was just in town for the weekend. Oh, did you go to the game? Yeah, I went to the game.
Oh, that was worse. Oh, you went to the game?
Look at your
What kind of seats you get? You in the suites?
Yeah.
You in the
You for the streets.
If you in the suites, you for the streets.
Oh,
That's
ain't
tough.
nothing worse than when you dating and you find out she's like, oh, me and my friend going to another game.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
You going to the Laker
okay.
game, huh? All right.
Yeah.
This is
that
your
hurt.
6th Laker game in a month. Okay.
I think this conversation, if the guy is watching, whoever you are, Mr. Todd, I think it's Tony.
Tony was his name.
Tony, we closer to you than you think. However, you need to understand, we don't need to move that way because it ain't that serious. Not in terms of how you feel, but in terms of the consequences you're going to have to live with by exposing her, him, and now you. It ain't that serious. Like, dog, move in silence even when you get caught out, or they do, right? Because it's nothing worse than we've all had arguments with somebody that we were going to break up with that we didn't. And then we show up booed up, and your mama like, your ass. You ain't gonna ever learn, right? And now the whole world gonna say his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
He ain't gonna never learn.
Exactly.
All right, let's learn something about Shedeur Sanders right here, because every time I read a mock draft, I just see that arrow. There's 2 arrows always: the green that's going up and the red going down. Every time I see his name, I see red, and I'm like, damn, who is Shedeur Sanders? In these mock drafts, they saying, look, probably bottom of the 1st round, which sounds impossible to me. At least a couple months ago it did. And now it's starting to look like reality, which means you go to a better team. But who is Shedeur Sanders, and what will he be as a pro?
I think it's all about situation and fit. People don't realize you have to go to the right system in order for you to have success in the NFL, especially at quarterback. There's about 16 out of the 32 teams, 16 coordinators / quarterback coaches / offensive gurus that do not know how to handle his offensive success. So that's only leaving 16 teams, right? There's probably another 5 that say, you know what, I don't want the hoopla that comes with them because I just want to focus. I'm new. I'm not comfortable in my position yet, so I don't want them. So now you're down to about 8 to 10 teams that are saying, I want that kid because I can get everything out of him and have him be the best version of himself when he gets here. A lot of people cannot do that in the NFL, and that's what people don't understand. The coaches are saying, you know what, we can't handle just anybody. We have to handle the right person. So I think that's why he's going to fall. But to him, I think it's going to be a perfect scenario because now you're going to go, like you said, to a better team, a better situation. You don't need to be on the field ASAP, right? That helps you as a quarterback anyway. So I think for him, it's going to work out perfect, actually.
Jaden Daniels says, hold my beer. Let me just go out there and get it from day one. But to your point, it does go from like 32 to, you already know we're down to 16. Then you go from 16 to 8. Then you even get fewer teams who are like, I raise my hand for this level of development, scrutiny, and criticism that comes from that process. Because it's going to be growing pains no matter who it is. And to get a Jaden Daniels is amazing. To get a RG3 of yesterday is amazing. But most of the time, you get somebody that high, you're going to have to work with them, right? And you're going to have to be secure in your job to do that work. Or else, if you're one of these newer coordinators that's trying to make your way, and you get Shedeur, and they say he's not supreme in any tangible.
Right.
He's supreme in intangibles. Deion's your daddy, so it's some DNA in there, some mental makeup. You're going to go get it. But they're saying you ain't off the charts in speed, size,
arm strength,
nothing.
To me, what makes
wild.
the best ones, though, right? If you look at from your Kobe, never the biggest, strongest, fastest, right?
Good
Wayne
point.
Gretzky, never the
Jerry
that's
Rice.
what makes the great ones great.
I know.
Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the next great one, but you have to take that into consideration. He's not going to fit all the things that you want him to fit. Top 1 or 2, 3 picks, which is fine, right? But I think Shedeur will understand that, which is the piece that over this whole thing is probably the most important piece because he doesn't care. Shedeur's like, I'm going to go ball wherever. I don't care if I go 1. I don't care
Every
if
clip I see is I'm going top. I'm going number 2, Cam Ward and him beefing.
Until it
clowning.
happens, I think he's okay with saying, oh, yeah, I went 16. I went 28. I think he'll be fine with it.
You know, football is filled with overthinkers in the front office. In my opinion. And the eye test is the eye test. And that kid is poised. That kid is accurate.
True.
You rarely saw him throw a bad ball. What else do you need? He ran when he needed to. He was tough as nails on Swiss cheese.
They don't look at it. They don't look at it like that.
I know, but
you
what
have
I'm
to
saying
fit a
is
box.
they should. So whatever it is that they're looking at to have him drop, I think they're probably dead wrong on it. The kid can play football. It is part of him.
But can he play football anywhere? That's what they're asking.
I
don't think you send him to Cleveland with that locker room, right? It's a younger team. You don't have no leadership there, and you let him go start and be the leader of the Cleveland Browns. I don't think that's the right fit for him. I just don't. I think he needs to go somewhere and sit behind somebody and learn, okay, this is a new system. This is NFL. This is how we do things here. This is how we use your skill set. Do you sit behind a Kirk Cousins for 2 years? You sit behind a Matthew Stafford for 2 years? To me, that's a perfect scenario in what I see Shedeur. So, and that's situation's not out there everywhere. Let's say you have 2 or 3 teams that
is that the
there.
medicine you would have gave Jaden Daniels? And I love to use a success story because it's such an outlier that makes you have to reevaluate.
I don't think Jaden was in his own box to me because Jaden was more physically talented. And when he got to Washington, there was no pressure on Jaden.
Great point.
That's a huge thing. Shedeur's had pressure on him. You go to New York, Shedeur, it's a whole different thing. Right? You have all this non-football stuff that you have to worry about in New York, which is a thing. Now, he can handle it because he's been in the spotlight, which is fine. But again, Jaden made mistakes, right, early in his career. He's still a rookie. He's going to make more mistakes. But at the same time, there was no pressure. They go to the playoffs and now he's the savior. We're not saying he's the best ever. We're not saying he's the best Super Bowl winning rookie quarterback. He didn't win the Super Bowl. He didn't go to the Super Bowl. We're just saying he was good for Washington because Washington was so bad. We're saying the same thing about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is in the talks of being great because he's in Jacksonville. They had never won. So he's winning 8 games a year. To them, that's great. Right? But to us, we're not like, oh, big deal.
And then we saw that collapse or wherever we are right now with Trevor Lawrence is not where we were.
That's right.
Because they were trending up. Now they're trending down because they thought it was supposed to go from 4 to 8 to 12 to 16. It doesn't work like that, right? But I think Shedeur's the same way. I don't think that he needs to be somewhere where he needs to play right now, needs to win right now. Those scenarios would, I think, hurt his whole career.
You know, it's interesting. Your comps map on exactly to who they say Shedeur is. Think about situations. There was a prospect that went to he was a top pick, one of the top picks, so top 10, let's say that. And he went to a team, and there was so much criticism and scrutiny and spotlight, he didn't do so well. And then this same prospect goes somewhere where they used to have success, but now the expectations are low, and he starts to ball out. Who is that prospect? Trivia.
Sam Darnold.
That's a great one. It's the same as a Sam Darnold, but it wasn't Sam Darnold. They say he's Geno Smith.
Oh, you talking about
Geno Smith.
Oh,
Geno.
I was going to say Baker Mayfield.
It could be Baker.
Here,
a little different.
Here, okay. Let me ask you this.
Spotlight, but he was a top pick.
Who was Robert RG3's rookie year? Who was rookie of the year that year?
RG3.
Okay. Do you want his career in year 10?
He didn't have one.
So to some people, he was the perfect pick because he was rookie of the year. But some people say you were supposed to be here for 10 years. You were supposed to be doing this for 10 years.
Injuries matter, though.
Injuries matter, right? So again,
and the
it
coaching,
just
they ran him into the ground.
Oh, he should have played that playoff game. He should have played that.
But I'm like, that's okay. Did they use him right now? So who ruined the career? The coaching, the organization.
Yeah.
Was it, all of these things have to be part of the conversation. It can't just, well, he had a 70% completion percentage and threw for 10 touchdowns, so we picked the right guy. You don't know if you picked the right guy, right? Only by longevity is when you know you picked the right guy. I don't think that the Redskins used RG3 the right way.
Commanders.
The Commanders, when he was a Redskins.
Where's the PC line? Like,
I cross it regardless. I cross it regardless. You know, so it's like you just don't know because it's going to be too early. But I think again, don't get infatuated with trying to make Shedeur say he's got to be playing right now. He's got to be great right now. Let him become an NFL quarterback.
All right, let's bring this home because a lot of times we can hide behind our analysis as objective. Oh, this is what I see. This is what I see. It's your team. You picking Shedeur? He's your quarterback?
What am I picking? Am I 1? Am I 15? Am I 31? That's a big difference.
Well, no, it's not. See, you told on yourself. Like, look, if this was, who's your favorite prospect the last 10 years? Favorite prospect
10
quarterback?
Years.
Any
quarterback.
Yeah, like when he coming out, you like a dude.
A dude.
This
is going to be a guy.
Say it.
Ooh,
you know you got some.
Who's the best?
Was it Peyton? Was it
No. It was probably Cam.
Cam Newton?
I would say Cam was a true number one.
Okay, good.
A number one pick. When you pick a number one, you're saying he should be going to the NFL Hall of Fame one day.
Oh, damn, you messed up. Cam ain't going to Hall of Fame.
That's what.
But you thought at that time, yeah.
At that time.
Okay, now, if I at that time sat down with you on the rocks and said, okay, Cam Newton, is he your quarterback or not? You wouldn't have said what pick.
No, he was bona fide one. So Shedeur's not a one.
So Shedeur's not a one. Where is he?
Yeah, I don't think he's not in my top 10. He's not in my top 10.
Are you picking him in the first round?
10?
As quarterbacks or just
No, I'm talking
picks?
about in the drafts alone. Because, again, I know receivers out there. I know left tackles out there. I know defensive ends out there. I know 2 other I'm putting Jackson Dart in the top 10 before I put Shedeur. I think Jackson Dart over the next 5 years is going to be a dude before Shedeur will.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
No, but
okay.
Look, you played receiver. You work with quarterbacks. Your offensive coordinator. You're a head coach now. What do you see great in Shedeur, and what do you see that ain't it?
The one thing that I don't like about the season is how he handled some of his teammates.
Yeah.
And to me, in the NFL, that becomes a problem. Because this is 52 other dudes who are alpha males,
Yeah.
And there's always gonna be one or two dudes that they go swing on you. They can play ball and they've made it through college, but they from the streets for real.
Mm-hmm.
There's always one or two, not a bunch of them. There's always gonna be one or two. So you can't really, treat anyone like you want to treat them. So that was my one turnoff with Shedeur. But on the field, he's got A talent. I wouldn't say A+ talent, but his poise and leadership from where Shedeur was at 16 and 17, from where he is now at 21, he's made himself into a player. He was never a 5-star quarterback. He was never the best quarterback in Texas. He was never that guy. But he's made himself into a quarterback the last 5 years, and that work ethic and character is not going to change wherever he goes.
I think Shedeur's biggest asset is that he throws the ball on time. And even a little early.
Yes.
And that's what you have to do in the pros.
He can
and
throw
that's
windows.
what these highly touted quarterbacks do not do. That's what Justin Fields has a problem with. That's what Caleb Williams has a problem with. That's what Jaden Daniels does well. And Shedeur does that well. And if you do that well, then you have a very good chance of at least being Brock Purdy. If you put the ball out there early, you're not holding on to it, you're not taking sacks, you're not giving it away to the other team, and you're giving your skilled players a chance at it, then I think you can do well. And I think that's what he does really, really, really well.
Let me say one thing before we move on about Shedeur that I see, and it's kind of what Hatch said. Like, I think the attachment with Shedeur would be, Shedeur, these guys are all qualified to be here. When they're qualified to be there, especially the pro level, like college, you can say what you want about some of these cats, like scrub. You can't say that in the NFL. We're all black belts, just different degrees, right? So now, when you notice we're struggling, because if you go to a top, if you're a top pick, you're going to go to a bad team, you're going to struggle. We don't need you coming back in here a little higher than us, because we all struggling, right, as a team. So that's kind of like my first, I wonder how Shedeur is going to handle that at the next level. But what's really concerning is this, and this is conjecture, but I can see it happening. He goes somewhere and realizes this ain't it and says, I'm better than this. So then you start to detach yourself from that, I can see, because he's in the Manning family. He's in Sanders, right? And what they did was, before we even get to that place, I don't want my boy going there. I don't know if Deion going to pull that trigger, because right now he's sliding in the mock draft. He may not have that leverage. But you can get in there and ball and all of a sudden be like, man, these boys ain't me. And then I'm out. And then you running from what reality is, because everywhere you go there you are. You're going to go to another locker room and it ain't going to be perfect. You're going to handle that one. So that's the only thing. It's like Shedeur got on red bottoms and everybody else just, tennis shoeing it. Like, it's just like, sooner or later, you okay? Like what you touching? What you doing? Don't step on these, right? And I just hope that that's not it. In terms of talent, you're right. He's not an A+. I've seen more talented quarterbacks on every level. But he does have a package that I know can thrive in the NFL. It's just if he goes to that right situation. What's that?
Package.
God dang! I said package. I am buying the flags. I'm gonna put that note down. I'm buying them flags. God damn.
You guys don't think Deion is gonna put him up on game on how to handle a pro locker room wouldn't he be used to being around those kind of cats?
He does know how,
all those dudes.
but it's harder to just fall in line when you're feeling yourself. Like he's that.
That Cam Newton. Remember when Cam and him had that little issue? Now this is Cam Newton, close to Hall of Famer, but former MVPs. Right. And I wasn't mad at how he addressed it. I just was like, damn, these kids don't give a damn.
They don't.
Which is partly like encouraging. Like, you ain't got to respect authority all the time, because sometimes it needs to be challenged. But at the same time, like, put some respect on some elders' name too. Like, a little from us and a little from you.
He didn't shake Cam's hand, right?
No, he was like, nah, I heard what you said.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But at this next level, you have to treat everybody like that because they all gonna say something.
They all gonna
every
say
Sunday.
something. And are you gonna
can't
go
fight
to
everybody?
You can't fight everybody. And
know,
you can't outplay all of us because sooner or later we're going to play you.
Yeah.
Like our opponent is them unless you want it to be you. I tell you, I ended on this Ryan Leaf story. So somebody told me on the O-line, and I would tell you his name, but I forget his name. He didn't lift weights. He was huge. He used to play for Miami, play for the Chargers. All he used to do is go in the rice buckets and just get his grip strong. He's like, I don't need to lift no weights. All I got to do is grab your ass. It's a wrap. Huge. And one game, Ryan Leaf was playing, and they said, we had enough with this fool. Yeah, Ryan Leaf, they was like, we got enough for you. And they were like looking at the opponents. They was like, you want some? Go get him. And they were letting Ryan Leaf get sacked. Real talk. Ooh, and he broke it down to me. I was like, I wasn't there yet. He told me the story. I was like, damn, really? I was like, that seemed like a movie. Like, that's what they do in the movies, you know, any given Sunday. He's like, nah, we're letting his ass get taxed.
That's the longest yard.
Yeah, exactly. So,
wow.
Look, I don't think Shedeur is anywhere in that, but team chemistry, camaraderie.
It's very important.
There's a reason grown-ass men go out for wings and beers. Mm-hmm. It ain't because we want to eat. Right. It ain't because we want to drink. It's like, we good?
What we do.
Because if we're not, we can be bad.
It's mafia. It's the mafia mentality, right? We stick together, especially them boys up front.
Boys up front, unspoken language.
It's not a game.
They don't even talk.
I remember, you know how they set the huddle? I remember the offensive line are always in front, right? Because they go to the ball. So when we coming back from a long pass, you would try to go through like the guard or tackle. They won't let you go through it. You gotta go around.
Oh, really?
You're going around this.
It's not a game.
Yeah,
you
don't
get
play
that elbow if you want, and you'll never see anybody get through that on the offensive line. You'll never see it.
That's one of those gems you never hear. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, they don't play that.
They don't play.
All right, let's play this game right here. I want y'all to give me y'all best duo in sports history. Coming off the conversation of
easy.
When I imagine Luka and LeBron, I'm like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I know there's probably another one out there. You know, we know all the examples. I don't want to give one away, and it's one of your picks. Best duo in sports history is.
And it doesn't have to be player, right?
Oh, do you?
Because I went a little left, right? But to me, in all the sports for the last 100 years, with Belichick being a defensive-minded coach and him being on the opposite side, it's him and Brady. I think the Brady-Belichick thing was the best duo in sports for 20 years, and I don't think we'll ever see that again. And I know it's not, two guys playing beside each other.
That's a good call.
But to me, they were the duo. Their relationship was tight. It was them taking care of one side of the ball, Brady taking care of the other side of the ball. I thought that was the best duo in sports in the last 20 years.
I mean, obviously, I don't need to prop that up. Six rings speaks for itself.
Already.
But the seventh ring also speaks loud. That seventh ring that Brady got without him makes you think, I don't know what kind of mental math I'm playing right now, but it's like, how good were you, Belichick? Because you ain't did jack without me.
Hey, but and then I can go for them first.
Before or after?
Them first 3 Super Bowls
where
Tom Brady would literally.
True.
I'm checking it down.
Yeah.
My defense is going 3 and out. We win in Super Bowl. We get up by 2. We win the game.
Team.
It was a wrap, and that was all Belichick. That was all Belichick.
Defensive, special teams, culture, all Belichick.
Moving pieces around that Brady wouldn't have knew to take Troy Brown and put him at corner.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
Part.
Like he wouldn't have suggested that. That's all Belichick. That's coaching.
That's real.
Well, and then that means that you got to say Phil Jackson and whoever the superstar was he had at the time.
All of them.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But I love the fact that
This is not what we talked about, nigga.
You changed my whole way of thinking about it.
It's too.
Because even I was thinking about some off-brand people that you may not even think about, like Martina Navratilova and Pam Shriver, where they were almost unbeatable as a doubles team.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? John McEnroe and Peter Fleming were almost unbeatable as a doubles team.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Twins.
Huh?
More recently, what were the twins' last names? The 2 twins?
Oh, the Bryan brothers.
What about the Williams sisters? They weren't good as a team.
They were doubles guys.
Yeah,
doubles.
The Williams sisters won probably
they won the Olympics as a team.
20 Grand Slams
As
in doubles.
As a duo.
in doubles.
Oh,
We just don't
yeah.
watch
They
that,
were
so,
amazing.
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's your duo?
Well, you know, I went with the player, so I went with Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
I went with Kobe and Shaq because, like, they are.
Because it's easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's easy because you have a Lakers
because
jersey
the fact-
on.
Because
gosh,
the facts,
dang it!
The facts are that Kobe Bryant's looked at it as the #2 shooting guard of all time. Shaq's probably a top 3 of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know another duo that has both players in the top 5 of their position.
Besides Magic and Kareem.
You could say that, but
Okay.
yeah, you could say that.
Since they're Lakers, since they're Lakers, you want to agree with that.
But it came down to star power too,
Yeah.
and you can't go bigger star power than Kobe and Shaq.
I
Now I
agree.
did throw a bone. I thought about Brady and Gronk. I think he's the #1 quarterback of all time, and Gronk's a top 3 tight end.
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah.
pretty damn good duo as well too.
Yeah.
So
But Jordan and Pippen are probably.
If you're talking about
That's probably
player on
it.
player, this Jordan Pippen thing, it's them. That's the.
but you can't be a top 3. But Pippen's on the top 5 small forward of all time.
To some people.
Yeah,
to
but
some people.
he's got
To him, he is.
championships.
Huh?
To him, he is.
2 3-peats in championships.
But he's not
where
a top-
he was
he's
the
not-
se-
but he's
where he
not a-
was the second best player on the team.
But he's not a top 5 player though in his
At his
position.
position?
That's what some people put him up there. Some people will.
Well,
You got him at small forward,
You're gonna
right?
put him over LeBron, Bird, Kawhi, Kevin Durant.
Kawhi is not in
I
this
put him over
conversation to me.
Y'all
Why
bo-
not? He was
y'all-
a
Pippen over Kawhi?
He led a team
Yeah.
to a championship.
One.
Okay, how many
That's not
times?
enough.
How many?
Six.
He didn't lead it though.
6.
He had a really good season in '94. He had a great
And
season in
Kawhi,
'94,
how many-
and walked off the court when times got
this
rough.
is a whole, hold on. This is about to turn into a whole.
Hold up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Kawhi Leonard is considered a better basketball player than Scottie Pippen. We agree with that?
no.
I would say
Absolutely not.
he's a better
When
offensive
healthy,
He's
yeah.
a better offensive player, and I would put them right 1A, 1B as far as the best defensive player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Kawhi is
Kawhi is
supremely
the leader.
skilled. Scotty affected the game way more than Kawhi affects any game.
Interesting.
He shut down defense.
I agree.
He scored at will.
I
He
agree.
assisted the best player.
He was just so happens to be playing
Hold on.
with.
Get out your own way and be
like
respectful.
Pippen would play with
What do you
Jordan.
think the basketball world says? And this is tough because we got to say when healthy, but based
sucks.
off of who's ranked higher as a basketball player, Kawhi
There's
or
no
Scottie
ranking.
Pippen?
There's
But
no
there is
ranking.
because they do the top 50, top 75.
But those people don't count.
But we count. But we're trying to take an assessment. I really think that people would say, like Kawhi is kind of like Terrell Davis. Like you're higher ranked what I saw, but I didn't see enough.
Bo Jackson.
Yeah,
It's the
Bo
Bo
Jackson.
Jackson
Like,
theory.
but,
Yes.
So,
yeah.
but Pippen, I don't put nobody higher than Pippen like that. Like you got to go get it.
Yeah,
But
that's why
one's a
it's tough.
1A on the team, and one's
That's the catch.
the 1B or a 2 on the team.
Right.
So who do you think? You the basketball head here.
Between Pippen and Kawhi, or just
Yes,
Yeah,
Pippen
what
and
do
Kawhi.
people say who's higher ranked? Or,
I think
or
the majority of people would say Pippen.
Pippen, huh?
I would say that,
Interesting.
but I think I would
Kawhi.
probably go with Kawhi. 'Cause, like he's led a team.
Yeah.
He's a bad dude, you know.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
just
got a
he
great.
haven't
He can
did it
play
long.
offense. He's a really good offensive player too. Like
If
Pippen,
he's that good though, like because again he's a 1. Pippen was never the 1. That's
Right.
what makes
Well,
the
he was,
conversation.
and they
But he didn't
go-
win.
Right. and
That's
that-
what makes the conversation
Yeah.
like ooh.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, they were like literally one bad call away from going to the championship.
Oh, Kevin Durant was one toe away from moving. Like, it's always one.
No, always
a one.
It's
And
always
Pippen had a
one.
great year in '94. Like that's one of the best MVP years you're gonna see from a player. But like him walking off that court when Kukoc got the call for that last shot,
That's what everybody
that tainted
remember.
me from that.
Shout out to Scottie Pippen, who I just saw at the Clippers game because his son was playing Memphis, playing the Clippers.
Shout out to Scottie Pippen.
I
Stop
love-
talking that mess about Jordan.
Is it that game?
I mean,
He's playing around.
I don't know. When you go to a game, you don't know nothing. Like
You're
you
not.
be at
You
home,
don't see the
you're like,
TV
oh, yeah.
copy. Yeah, you don't see the TV copy
I
when you're
didn't
there.
see nothing. That's
right.
Basically, he just stunned it on you too.
Hold on, what-
He's like, yeah, I was on the floor. I didn't see nothing else. I don't see what you peasants.
talking to Scotty.
I don't see
I mean,
what
what
you
the fuck?
peasants see up there.
Me and Scotty check. You know. Hey, how did we skip over Montana and Rice? Did I not hear that?
It's hard to put it's hard to put a football duo up there. It's hard.
You just did. You just said Belichick and Brady.
That's again, but that's not player. It's hard to put.
I said Gronk and Brady.
Yeah, I heard that. But
Yeah.
look,
I don't
who's
know.
ranked higher, Gronk or Jerry Rice?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Who's ranked higher, Brady or Montana?
Brady.
But only one slot,
Right.
right?
So,
Like
okay.
there's some slots between Gronk and Rice.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of people they don't have
No
Joe
one
Montana
says Gronk's
as
the best
number
tight end
two.
ever. Well, actually, I do hear that a little bit.
I've heard top
That
three.
is-
I've heard top
yeah.
three.
But Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Shannon Sharp.
Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie
He
Newsome.
never
and-
won. He never won a Super Bowl, did he?
Ooh, Gates. But this tight
But
end.
don't matter. Kellen Winslow
Stats,
never won a
stats.
Super Bowl, but
Statistically,
he's
he was
one of the
great,
top
but-
tight ends ever. I don't
Yeah,
care. Nobody.
we don't do. I don't think tight ends
Not Junior.
like quarterback wins is. Do we separate
won,
tight
didn't he?
ends
Tight
by
ends is- yes.
championships? Hell no, we better not.
No.
we ain't
Because
gonna
they-
go no. Barry Sanders not the
You
best
wanna know
running
why?
back
'Cause
ever.
You can a tight end. You can tell how great they are without having all the other pieces.
Gronk and Kelsey changed
I mean, you watch Gronk
Kelsey,
catch a
Gronk.
ball and do some things that you've never seen before. Like he's one of the best I've ever seen do something. Like you just say that.
So bring it home. Montana Rice. Let's just narrow this versus Brady and Gronk. You said
Brady and Gronk.
Brady,
that's,
Gronk,
that's
and
not
who's
close.
better?
It's,
Which-
it's the Rice Montana.
Yeah. Okay.
Rice Montana.
So now Kobe, Shaq, Montana Rice.
That's a tough one, but he had to go with Kobe and Shaq.
Kobe.
What?
Kobe and Shaq.
Say, there's two goats versus neither one of them are called goats.
Kobe
well,
and
maybe
Shaq.
Kobe a little bit. Kobe, Shaq, neither one is called the GOAT. They have called Montana the GOAT, and they still call Jerry Rice the GOAT.
Shaq always calls himself the GOAT.
He calls himself a lot of things.
Barkley would disagree.
Yeah, no, and I love both of those. Those are two top 10 players.
You would go Kobe and Shaq, and then you put that versus Jordan and Pippen is Jordan and Pippen. Easy.
You just skipped.
Yeah.
Montana Rice does not lose this conversation.
Yes, they do.
How, Sway?
Because there's too many. I'm gonna tell you how, Sway. There's too many variables in football.
Keep going.
It's like in basketball, it's those two can literally dominate that whole game.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You know, in football,
Nature of the
like
beast.
the quarterback's still depending on these guys. I got receiver over here, and I need him to clear out for Jerry to come this way.
So you want to say Floyd and his dad? Then you want to do that?
I'll put Floyd and his dad, and versus Tiger and his dad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a good one.
It's like that's
Y'all
a whole
done messed
nother.
up all the
Yeah, we messed up.
topics,
We messed up
Now
your
you gotta
duo
bring in Richard Williams and
and
Venus
the Venus
Right.
and the Williams sisters. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, like, if you ask me best duo players, I don't see any better. Kobe Shaq feels like it, but that's just because it's sizzle with substance. And I think Montana and Rice didn't go through the era where we got all of that. Like,
The Montana and Rice barely trumps Elway and Shannon Sharp. Like barely.
barely in what way? Like this way?
Like what? Elway is on the same level as
My
Joe
favorite
Montana.
player, don't do
is
this.
on the same level as Joe Montana.
Who?
Elway.
No.
What? You crazy?
Man,
Do you
that's
know
my
who
favorite
John
player.
Elway
Yeah.
is?
No, hell no.
Have you seen?
Hell
okay,
no. They
have
don't
you
look at him the same.
What?
I
You
know
crazy.
I do, but I'm
What-
not ignorant of how
the
you
world
do.
should.
Like
The
I
world
thought DeVita was the finest girl at school. Some thought Tiffany. They were more right, but you know what? She was the finest I
Bumper or
could
what's
find.
no Gumby thought she was the finest too.
But that size 14
was
messed
the
up.
finest.
I can't believe you. Are you serious?
Definitely in that conversation.
Oh my God,
Elway was special, bro.
No, you think I didn't know? But
The world doesn't know about John Elway. And go look at the tape.
no, we know that. But they were
So you saying John Elway above Montana? Okay.
No, he's saying Montana
and that's-
way above
that's
Elway.
fighting all my rooting interests because I
but-
want to
but-
say that,
but-
but I know empirically that's not true. Like objectively, that's not true. Like
Elway is there.
114.
It's 1A and 1A with Elway and Montana. If you
In
ask me.
talent, you're having a talent conversation. You're a coach right now. You're trying to
More
just recruit.
talent
Y'all smell the
is
fries
Elway.
upstairs? Y'all smell the fries? It's going down over here.
Talent-wise,
Elway.
it's Elway
Oh,
by
by
far.
far. It's not even
Athletic-
close.
Not even close.
Not even
Bigger,
close.
stronger,
Fat boy
faster. Could throw the
Fat boy
ball.
shit.
Could throw the ball 80 yards, right?
Yes, but who was the
champ-
better? Which Max Kellerman used to always sell these arguments. I forgot my boy. Sorry, big dog. That's like the shout out of New York. Who would you rather be in? Which career would you rather have? See, that's it. You would not want to be.
I think
John
Elway.
over Joe Montana.
Elway. Why not Elway?
Well,
He's got rings.
Yeah,
he
but
he
Elway-
got Pro Bowls.
Elway never won a championship throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That was all TD.
Nope.
no,
TD.
what?
No, the last
Hold
two.
on. So you saying he didn't throw the ball one time in the Super Bowl? Yes,
Oh,
he
no,
did.
and he lost all them
Okay,
Super Bowls.
The first play
They-
of the game
he
was to
lost them all.
Rod Smith on a 60-yard touchdown.
And how that
to
game
win.
turned out?
They won. They
The-
beat
Terrell
the Brakes.
Davis.
They beat the You asked if he didn't throw it. He
No,
had
he
the first
didn't
touch.
say that. You trying to
That's
be-
what he said.
No, he
What
said
did
he does me.
What did
He said they
UGK,
didn't win with him
what did he
dominating
say?
as a
I
quarterback.
said he's
You
Literally,
didn't
What did
say
he
he
say?
didn't throw the
Take
ball.
it literally.
You didn't
That's
say he didn't throw the ball.
I'm saying it wasn't a throwing team. It was a running
That
team.
doesn't matter.
Oh, it does.
Sure it does.
Oh, it's Kevin Durant and Steph. And that argument we had, and everybody's like, well, Kevin Durant ain't it. And I was like, well, they went through Kevin Durant to win that championship.
But Steph
it's still
won it. But
Steph's
Steph
team.
was the 1A,
It was
right.
John Elway's team, but they went through Terrell Davis, dog.
But they both
Come on.
needed each
Period.
other. They
Period.
Period. That's why he in the Hall of Fame, Terrell Davis. Two Super Bowls, John Elway never won without him.
John Elway
Never
was
won
first
without him.
ballot, if you want to go there. He's a first
Well, so
ballot.
was
It
TD.
took 10 years to get TD in.
No.
Yes, it took 10 years to get
TD
TD
won-
in.
No.
He was supposed. He retired a long time ago. He just got in 5 years ago, bro.
Let's see. We got to do one of these.
Let me listen
yeah.
to me.
Terrell
Elway's
Davis.
career, it was not a bad career. I don't know what.
Oh,
people,
no.
Nobody's
He's
saying
on my
that.
wall.
That's
And
not what we're
Montana's
saying.
not.
So
Don't do that.
Montana got what? His 5 rings, right? You had
Did he
the.
get 5?
He had 5.
Say, I thought I saw 4.
Elway only has 2, but Elway lost another 3 or 4 in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. At least 2.
Well, I know he lost one with the Broncos.
No, he's
Right?
only with the Broncos. He's
he
on
only
all
played
with
with
the
the
Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do that.
But anyway, so
Hold on. I'm going to type this in.
Terrell Davis, he retired in what,
Terrell Davis.
02 or 3. He got in at like 2015.
That's crazy.
Because they were saying that he didn't have enough film, like he didn't have enough yardage and all that stuff. We all
Ooh,
knew.
2017, you're right. And he was retired in 01.
Newsflash, I'm always.
That don't mean nothing. They forgot. He didn't retire officially because of his headaches.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you see, you
Yeah.
ain't slick.
But I'm-
What
yeah,
do you mean they
but
were
I'm
waiting? They
still
weren't
right.
waiting. All right, let me talk about this. Oh, this one hurts. All right, we got to get into this topic.
Sorry, Tony.
I ain't talking to you. I saw my son leaking blood, water faucet. I got the towel upstairs. I'm keeping them. I'm doing a little scrap album. So this one you got tough, boy. But in all seriousness, my son was playing football, flag football. Eugene's son, Nate, dog, is on the team as well. Good little bunch of kids that all I care about is they try their best, and then you're gonna take that somewhere else. And my son was having maybe his best game ever. I don't know. He was eating. Like he's good, I know it, but he was eating. And so I just took him out offensively. We're up 33-0. I'm like, take him out. We don't need no more points. However, I don't have a lot of faith that if my son's not playing safety, that we will stop. They'll score somehow, some way, right? So I was like, I want to keep this dominant mindset. So I was like, let him play defense. Plus, it's harder to get hurt playing defense.
Right. That's where you shouldn't think. That's what you, yeah.
And I know, I got caught.
Yeah.
My son goes up for a pick. His teammate goes up for a pick. My son goes for the ball. His teammate goes for the ball, but travels through his nose. Wow. And he just laying there crying. And he cries a lot.
But this one was a real cry.
Oh, he couldn't believe it. And I knew, at least the dad and me rolled the dice, said, this is because he's seeing that blood. Like,
Yes.
that blood will make you think different, right?
I'm dying. When I
Right,
see
I'm
blood, I'm
dying.
dying. Yeah.
I had a concussion and 9 stitches right here in my head. Some bloods pushed me out of swing when I was 7. And getting
Some
put,
bloods?
Oh, yeah, VNGs, for real. Some 13-year-old Van Ness gangsters run up on me. And they were like, stay on the swing, homie. Stay on the swing, blood. Push me. And I got to the point where, you ever been on the swing when they start doing that?
Yeah.
And the next one is you about to do a revolution.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am not landing on top of this swing. All right. So I'm at Ruth Ellen Park, like, I'm about to fly, and I don't want to fly.
I don't wanna fly.
And that last one, I just jumped, and I'm like, and then Boulder. That didn't do nothing to me. I wake up in my grandma's house, and she's like, you want to see? And I look in the mirror, and I had a hole in my head, and then I saw that blood, and I lost it. So I was hoping that he just lost it because of the blood. Thankfully, he didn't have a broken nose or anything like that, just a bloody nose.
Well, getting
Bloody
hit in the
nose.
nose is one of the most painful things
Them things hurt.
that can happen. If anybody's attacking you, hit them in the nose. Typically, the fight is over.
The fight is over, yes. I'm
If
going
he
to tell you
if
that
he a
story
punk,
later.
the fight is over.
But the
You know
point
what I
is, I want to have a conversation. We're some dads here, and then there's Hatchet. Terry. Terry grabbed his beer. He's like, hold on, let me grab this. But
mean? Keep hope alive.
when your child gets hurt in sports versus, look, our own past, we've all played sports. We've gotten hurt What just went? Oh, see, y'all talk too much about Elway just came down. And your child gets hurt in sports. I just want to have that conversation in contrast because I know I literally on the way. So the game is over. First of all, the game continues. I'm like, look, we got a fourth quarter to play. I got to tell these kids it's next man up. I got to give them that great lesson. I'm torn. I want to be with my son. He has to go to the hospital. I'm like, y'all got to keep playing. They like looking. They like, no, we done. And I'm like, no, we not done.
See what happened to him?
Yeah, right. Kids want to tap. Yeah. And then so after the game, I'm driving to the hospital and literally get to a red light and I start crying because I'm like, damn, my boy hurt. That's my dog, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I said, please, I don't want to see him with a mask. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it took me through all of what I endured to get to playing. And I'm like, you signing him up to do this?
To do this,
like,
yeah.
Even if his nose ain't broke, this is just the beginning. He gonna be laid out somewhere. He gonna be. This gonna
get
pull.
worse. This is the
talk to the audience about
that's
that.
nothing. You said his nose wasn't even broke.
It wasn't even broke.
That's nothing.
Context. Right after MJ got hurt, another kid got hurt. Marcellus had to pick him up and carry him off the field.
Yeah.
So you were just having a moment, basically.
Yeah.
But
with the other kid.
You were having
me?
A moment like, okay, this is what this sport is really about. We forget because we go out and nobody gets hurt and everybody's having fun and we go home and we get ice cream, right?
Yeah.
But this is a brutal sport. Football is brutal, right? The pads on, pads off. Like you're running into each other. Of course, at a younger age, it seems like they don't need these lessons, but in all actuality, these are what the lessons that they need. You want them to go through these things so they can appreciate the sport, right? They understand brutality. They understand getting hit in the nose, how that feels like when they might have to get in a fight at 16. Like they have to go through these harder things. You're just looking at it from the perspective of I didn't protect them, but you're not supposed to protect them. They have to learn these things. And of course, through sport, we rather have it in sport than him getting punched in the face by a neighbor. Right?
Yeah,
so it's like,
point.
I think you take the good out of it, and I think you just learn from it, and it's something that has to happen.
Well, and he's running around right now like nothing ever happened.
If y'all don't hear him in the background,
So,
his ass is chilling, playing Minecraft right now.
Come here so I can punch you in the nose.
Football yesterday.
He went to football camp yesterday. He all right.
There you go.
But as a parent, you can't help but feel that. You know what I mean? You can't help that. Even with my daughter in track, she would get injured and it would feel like the weight of the world was on me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Setting your
from
kids
shin
up.
splints or blisters or whatever the injury is, you're gonna feel that way as a parent. Like my mom used to go ape shit. I used to fight tournament karate, and she hated it.
Oh, you don't got kicked out before, huh?
Oh yeah.
Like,
wow.
wow.
Yeah.
And did some kicking out.
Yeah,
right?
and especially because my sensei had me training with older kids. And she just hated it, but I loved it. You know, I was all in for it. But my mom was always on the sidelines, just like a nervous wreck. So after a while, she just stopped coming altogether.
Yeah.
But so you can't help it as a parent, but he'll be all right. Even if it were broken, he'd be all right.
I know.
And just keep on moving.
My instructor's specific rationale behind that is, go fight the bigger kids. Does it hurt that much? No. What do you got to be afraid of?
You're good.
Right? Get over that mentality. Just because he's bigger and taller than you doesn't mean it's going to hurt more, be harder.
Right.
You just got to be you. Right?
That's right. Yeah. And like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right?
Yes.
But if you've been punched in the mouth before,
you know what it's
you
like.
keep your
know what
plan.
it's like, and you can keep your plan.
Keep your plan, and that's what's. I always tell myself when I'm looking at him or my younger daughters, I'm like, to get tough, it has to be tough, right? You know, like it has to be something that turns the temperature up on you, and then I have to carefully measure how much support I'm giving you in those moments, because the crutches can be applied, but the thing about crutches is you still got to be able to hold yourself up, right? So I'm going to give you some crutches. Like, I'm not going to let you just go out there, hey, get up, boy. You're like, you fine. Wipe your blood away. You know, I'm like, I'm going to give you some crutches, but you still going to have to use them.
Well, he played yesterday, so
Yeah.
that shows you the toughness he has. So that's a good thing.
But it was hard for you at the moment because you were a coach when that happened. You weren't a parent on the sideline where you could just walk him and check on your kid. You had to worry about the other boys.
Right.
They were looking up to you as the coach to set the right tone. Like, okay, coach is being tough on his own kid in a good way,
Yeah.
even though he's hurt. because he cares about us too. We're part of the team, and we need to keep playing. So you did your part. Learn. I respected you for that, for not just walking away to MJ, thinking about the rest of the team. I give you mad respect for that. Because I'm thinking about, I don't know if you remember the tournament in November when Nate sprained his ankle real bad. I wasn't even watching. One of our other kids was hurt, Miles, and I was talking to him. Wasn't even watching the game. And then all of a sudden I just hear whistles and I hear people screaming, Nate's down, Nate's hurt. I walk over to check on him. The first person, I remember looking at your face and I'm thinking, oh, this is bad. Your face said it all. I was like, oh, that must have been bad. And he's on the ground, pounding the ground, screaming, crying. I didn't even see it. I didn't know what happened. What was worse for me was he had sprained his ankle about 2 weeks before that incident. And so, it's that part where I'm thinking, oh man, that's my fault for pushing it. Did I force him back too early? Second guessing myself, like I want him to be tough, but did I set him up to get hurt even more? There's that guilt I felt at that time. So after that injury, he was out for at least a month and a half, just at PT for a long time. It's tough when you see your own kid down and out.
You know what helped me a lot growing up was I had an older brother who's 5 years older but 6 years in grades ahead. Okay. And he used to just whoop my ass.
I bring it home for you.
So it was normal. So it was like, I've already felt this.
Tough is
You know what I mean?
Tough is here.
Yeah.
It's funny because I didn't have any brothers growing up, and I'm so thankful because I think me in the conditions I grew up in with a brother would have been in them streets because I would try to be tough to my brother. So then I would have let it bleed into the outside where I needed to be soft. I needed my sisters to whip my ass and I would be so shamed that I'm like, I'm not fighting nobody. And that saved me from gangster life. Because if I was trying to win in my house, I would try to win in them streets. And it would have been bad for me personally. But the tough conversation is like what Eugene said, when you're like, I'm trying to teach you something, but I feel you. Like, I'm looking at my son, like, I remember being hurt. I remember being scared. I remember my grandmother, one of my most vivid memories is her saying, do you want to see it? The hole in your head. Right, And in that moment, when I'm walking up to my son, he's leaking. I'm like, he ain't going to forget this. Like, he's 9. He will always remember right now. And I was like, damn, there's no perfect way to handle it. I wanted to pick him up, let him bleed on me like in Menace Society, and he got shot in the shoulder. Like, Kang, don't die, I wanted all of that. And then I was like, but I don't want him to think that the world is over this situation.
That's
is
what they're gonna
what
think.
It's not.
But that's what they're gonna think. That's what you want them to think because again, you're trying to raise a young man to be tough. Like it's different if it's a girl, in my opinion, right? But again, if it's a young boy, I remember when we used to get beat by my dad, he used to say, do you want me to give you something to cry about?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like you guys are you guys are doing the same thing just through sport. You're not physically doing it, but you want him to learn these lessons.
Point,
long as again, you don't want the broken leg, you don't want the broken finger, and that stuff's gonna happen. But how you get through that is the whole part of the parenting part that you have to do. You can't control he falls down the steps and break an ankle, or he goes out and plays soccer and breaks the ankle. It's gonna happen, right? But again, it's how you handle that situation on mental toughness, physical toughness, and getting ready for this ruthless world is what you're trying to, it's going to be worse out there, that whole mentality. So again, you want him to go through those things, not as long as it's not a lifelonging lesson. You know
what's crazy about this? This ties into our boy Todd. What's our boy got cheated on? Tony. This is a Tony conversation because the cognitive.
Call us up, Tony. We'll put
Tony,
you on
we
game.
got you, bro.
We got you.
I know your pain. Let me say.
No, I don't. I don't know that pain.
Now you're right. Not my wife.
I don't know that.
That was my girlfriend in the 8th grade. Nigga. Whole different animal. The cognitive conversation versus emotional conversation in any circumstance. Because literally, I'm watching my son and I'm thinking one thing and I'm feeling a completely different thing, right? And I'm looking like, damn, I've been there before. So in our injuries, you know what's crazy about our injuries? The toughest thing to me about any injury I've been through is not the physical pain. It's not going through the therapy. It's when I get back to it's time to do it again. Do I trust myself to do it again? Like,
And that's
Who am I
what makes you who you are, though.
Yeah.
To prepare myself to do something I'm scared to do,
Yes.
and I go do it again.
Can I go do it again?
Yeah.
Reckless in the sixth gear again.
Yes.
Like, is my son, next time that ball in the air, oh, that's my son calling. Let me stop. Is my son going to jump in the air and this time do this? Or is he going to jump in the air and give
That's
me that rock
the
again?
life lesson.
I know.
That moment is
Gonna
the
be
life
valuable.
lesson that you'll understand who exactly your son is, right? Because like Bill Parcells used to say, if they don't bite when they're pups, they don't bite when they're a big dog. As soon as that happens in this next game, you're going to be able to tell.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Right, so what happened to Nate? They're thinking about the pain that came with that moment. They
Well,
want to avoid that moment.
That's your answer. That's what I'm saying. That's the answer. Yeah. If he's thinking about it,
He's going to.
right? Not
No.
the Sean Taylors of the world. That's what I'm saying. That's what
Yeah,
there's
he's
a
trying to say
different
this is-
mentality.
Yeah.
Some of those kids get right back up and they do the exact same thing and run into that wall over and over and over without thinking about it. And I'm saying
great
your
point.
son thought about it. That puts him in a certain box.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Not
No,
to
I
say he
get it.
has to
Yeah.
be Sean Taylor, but that I guarantee when Troy Polamalu did that when he was 7, he did the same thing when he was 8, 9, 12, and
yeah,
13.
great point.
Your son's probably not going to be Troy Polamalu. Not in a disrespectful way, but
I don't take that disrespect at all.
right, but it's because he's not going to be cut like that.
Yeah, no,
Right?
that's a great point. Because I remember my first injury was like my hamstring and my knee, and then they were doing all the therapy and stuff, and then as soon as I go back out there, they're like, all right, take your time, measure it.
Couldn't do it.
Say it, go.
Yeah.
What you talking about? Like I only know one way, right? And
You're
I
going to
think-
be able to tell if he does that, he's your son or
Yeah.
your wife's
My
son.
wife's son. Hell yeah.
You're gonna be able to tell.
I think at some point that love and competition takes over, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when I high jumped in high school and college, and then in my junior year, I was high jumping. My foot, my cleat stuck in the ground, but my knee twisted this way, and I fractured my tibia. So I was out for majority of the season.
Yep.
That first jump back after rehab was a mother.
Yeah.
Because you have to still do the same move, planting
Yeah.
and turning. But 4 or 5 weeks later, I broke the school record and the township record.
You broke
yeah.
the mental barrier.
And that's, but you know what I'm saying?
You didn't
But
break the
that
record. You
competition-
broke the mental
Right,
barrier.
right,
That's
right.
all you needed to do.
That competition took over that fear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it made me who I was.
And I think as a parent, I think you can guide that action too.
Yep.
I mean, his son is young enough, and he knows what a lot of stuff you went through.
Yeah.
So just even a little bit of guidance. Hey, man, keep going for that ball.
Yeah.
You see, that didn't hurt that bad.
Yep.
It hurt at first, but it ain't
ain't
even
that
hurt.
It
bad.
looked worse than it was.
You all right.
right.
So keep going for that
Yeah.
ball, because that's
even
what you
bring it
need
up.
to be doing.
I won't even bring up the pain, and
I-
then you
I would.
plant it in their idea.
Because you don't remember pain anyway.
Ooh.
Humans
Tell 'em.
Humans' brains are wired that you don't remember pain. You may remember that something hurt, but you don't remember the feeling.
The feeling of the pain, because else you'd be in pain.
Right.
And you
So-
don't want to revisit that
Yeah.
pain.
So
Damn.
you can say, hey, man. That
You
pain
and
is-
Eugene want to take it? You want to break this shit down? That's real. That is real.
I
That's how
think
you
Tony
get over it.
disagrees with you.
Huh?
Tony the guy.
That's emotional pain.
That always
heartache.
sticks. That always sticks with you.
They make
It sound like
songs
it was
about
physical to
that.
her. Sound like that pain hurt.
Well,
Sound
she
like-
liked it. She liked the pain that she was getting. She was like, I should have gargled the whole
ain't
thing.
forgot that.
Oh, golly.
Oh, she
we ain't
was
going to never
talking
let
about-
that go.
Yeah, Tony, you
Sorry, Tony.
need to just move on, bro.
Oh man. Well, let's move on to this next conversation because
Yeah.
I mean, we could go. We're gonna continue to show people we're coaches, we're fathers, we're parents, we're husbands, we're in them streets, whatever we are. Our perspectives. I'm sorry. We see life from all these perspectives and these vantage points. Man, help us round out a conversation that I don't think I see anywhere else. All right, this was interesting. All right, so Terry's really close with Anthony Mackie. That's our boy, Captain America, right? I'm close with him, but he's really close. Like, that's their boy. They brought me into the circle. I love him. He's the homie, too. And we were hanging out, what was it, last week? And his movie's #1. We celebrated him, gave him all this love. I remember we were talking. I was like, dog, is it different? Like, you got the #1 movie in America.
world.
You the lead in the world. You the lead. Well, that Chinese movie killing. But I don't know if them numbers real. But it's a Chinese animated movie out there.
Right,
But
right.
he got the #1 movie in the world. He's the lead. He's Captain America. And I'm like, dog, I was like, this got to feel different. Like, this press run everything, the obligations, got to feel different. He said, it actually doesn't in a weird way, right? And that made me think, I have a conversation I want to have because I was like, damn, our boy is Captain America. But I remember him being white and somebody else, whoever that was. What's his name?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans?
Chris Evans.
Chris
was
Evans.
Captain
Evans.
America.
Okay.
In the original.
All right, and then I noticed that a lot of black movies were starting to like we took over Disney and like Little Mermaid used to be white, now she black, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. At first I was like, dope, and then I was like, here's the conversation.
Lil Marmisha. That's what it's called.
Bruh.
That's what it's called now. Go
Bruh,
ahead.
come on,
Yeah,
man.
Mamiqua. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
Come on, man.
There's no one named. You can check all of the hood
There
records.
will be now.
There's never a Marmisha.
Come on, man.
Ever.
There will be
I'm
now.
not going to stand for that.
I mean, you could have went Marquita. Like, no. I'm sorry. All right. My point is this. I think there's an interesting conversation because I've had it before, but I want to have it with y'all. It seems really cool when it's like, let's make the standard white character black. But I wondered, and this is what I told my boy, I said, what if Black Panther was white?
No.
Because
You
you're
can't.
from Africa.
You act
Wakanda's
like
in
they ain't
Africa.
white African.
Charlize Theron's from Africa. You
You
white?
act like Elon Musk from Africa. He white.
You Ben
Shall I
Affleck?
continue?
You white? You Ben
I'm not-
Affleck?
It's a hypothetical, but it really lends to like we're okay with what is it?
Yeah,
Gentrifying characters, reversing characters
Yeah.
one way. Are we gonna be okay when they bring these characters the other way?
I think the lore of the comic, they've had different Captain Americas throughout the whole comic. They've had white, black, male, and female. So
Didn't
they've
know
had
that.
different characters
Okay.
throughout the lore. In the lore of the comic, Black Panther is in Wakanda, and it's like a very isolated, hard to get in place. And what makes him, and what makes Black Panther a superhero is the vibranium that's only in Wakanda. If somebody white can break into Wakanda and get that vibranium, then yeah, we can have that discussion.
Okay.
But that ain't happening though.
That ain't happening.
so
All right.
so that's how that
They
character's
cannot
gonna stay who it is.
colonize Wakanda.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
well, okay,
Next
But
movie.
there was a white guy
Wakanda.
in Black Panther that was like a part of the military industry, like
Yeah.
right?
He was. You mean the bad guy?
Yeah. So there were white guys that
Yeah.
had,
They were stealing little bits of it
okay.
and then using that superpower of that to try to take it over.
Okay, so this convo is not so literal to Black Panther, but
It's all
we don't have many black like
Superhero.
superheroes or even character like Wizard of Oz came out and then The Wiz came
The
out.
Wiz.
We didn't have no problems with that, even though we saw that.
But if it was
what
the
if
other
The
way
Wiz
around?
came out first and then it goes Wizard of Oz? Is there any examples?
No.
And are we
Yes.
okay with
Yes.
it? All right, go.
Living single and friends.
Yes.
No.
yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
That's a fact.
That's
Living
a fact.
single and friends.
Good call.
Let's.
Yeah.
I'm
okay,
trying to listen and go with you
let's-
because I didn't watch a ton of Friends, but I know Friends. But let's go.
Well, think about the setup.
They're in
they're
an
all the
apartment.
setup.
It's a bunch of friends. They have a mixture of girls and then guys. Friends just knocked off living single.
But that's loose. That's like we use the same setting. That's like Archie Bunker was him on All in the Family, and
And
then
Friends,
George Jefferson was
yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm your homie. I'm just gonna go and do a spinoff or do something similar in sensibilities." I'm talking about the Little Mermaid is just black now. Like, and I don't think she authentically had to be white, but she came out white, and then she became black. What if someone has there
not
been
happening.
anything
No.
authentically black that we gonna let it be white because let's balance this out?
If we
Nah,
if we don't
Damn,
know,
it's a weird industry.
maybe from the 60s or 70s and we just don't know about it, but you guys got to understand it's coming from one source, right?
What?
A white writer at Fox or CBS or Sony. It's not like these people are coming from somewhere else. These are just writers that we personally seen, and they're going to say, hey, I want another $5 million check. So instead of doing it this way, I'm going to do it this way. That's all they're
right.
doing. It's the same story. All
Yeah.
these stories are the same. But Batman, I'm sure they had offered Will Smith Batman 20 times.
You
he
think?
He just said no.
You
But
think?
I guarantee it. Because if it's not bad, it's one of those superheroes. Will's like, I'm gonna make my own superheroes, hence Hancocks and all those things that he was doing, stuff like that. But these people, the execs, are not how you say it, remaking the wheel. How you say that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not remaking the movie.
Yeah, whatever it's called, right? So it's like all these stories are going to be the same. If you go watch all the movies from 60s, 70s, 80s, now since we're in 2020 and we're woke now, they're saying
You know it's 2025.
I know.
Okay.
All this stuff
Oh,
really
God,
started.
dang.
All this stuff started like around this 2020.
Oh yeah, it's the DEI, George Floyd,
right? They started
unrest.
throwing a lot more African American, the bones, if you will, because again, the hottest writers that were in the black community still didn't have a shot in 2000 and 2005. Those same writers, they can go to Sony, Lionsgate, and have movies and TV shows left and right now.
Well,
but they didn't get that shot in 2005
Listen,
if you were not connected to Will or Wesley Snipes or Denzel at those times.
One day I'm gonna tell you my Wesley Snipes story. I did security for him one day. Wildest shit ever. It's like what?
Yeah. I'm a writer, so I know exactly what you're saying. And I've left the business and come back to the business multiple times out of frustration because it seemed like no matter what I did, no matter how high it got, it was like I had to start over. I had a Will Smith movie at the height of Will Smith, biggest star in the world. Yeah, was getting bullshit from the studios. Juwanna Man. I'm like, I'm not writing Juwanna Man.
Wow.
No,
but
I'm not doing.
But what
that.
they say, if you did write Juwanna Man, they would give you a movie. That's the catch.
Well, maybe. But see, here's the thing. They would back then. They would absolutely look you in the face and tell you we're only making one movie with a black lead this year.
Yeah.
One. And we already have it.
What year are we talking?
We're talking
2005-ish,
from
2008.
99 into 2006, 2007.
Jeez.
They would literally tell you. I mean, there was nobody I couldn't have a meeting with.
Is that merit based off of numbers?
It wasn't even the numbers didn't even bear it out because when you did have a black star, the movies were doing really well.
Yeah,
but there was only
and
few. There was
but
a
they
few.
weren't doing
There was
it.
only two. There was only Denzel and Will that were doing those numbers.
Yeah, but you had other stuff like you had, Malcolm came in and he started making his movies.
Jamal Warner?
Best Man and Barbershops.
Barbershops and Love Jones did really well. And all these movies would do really well. They just didn't want to make them. You know what I mean? They literally
Revenue based or is this race based?
It's a little bit of both.
It had to be race based because
I'm about to say
no, it has to do with revenue because if you're talking about doing numbers, like those movies also were not doing 300 million. Only black movies that
they didn't need to back then.
Yeah.
If you did 100 million,
if
you were on top of the world.
Profit margin.
That's what they want.
Profit
You're saying
margin.
they didn't need to, but that's what they wanted.
But Hatch, the movies were there showing that it was viable. They weren't doing it. I would get calls into people's offices that executives just wanted to say, hey, I read your script over here. I'm a big fan of yours.
Yeah.
We don't have anything for you to make right now or to write or anything like that, but just know you have a fan. That's
enough.
how Hollywood was.
Those movies weren't making money, like the Fight Clubs, the Magnolias, all those cool little movies from the late '90s, early 2000s. They didn't make money. They didn't make the money you're talking about either.
Of course,
Right.
But those people still got other shots.
Oh, there was a middle class being made.
There's a middle class in white film.
and
making
We
that
lost
wasn't
a
in
whole
black film.
generation from the late '90s to the mid 2000s of black stars. Male and female actresses who didn't get their proper shot.
Of course,
people
I agree.
and because they was in those movies,
And in the
that were
80s
successful,
And in the
but they
80s,
didn't get
it
branded
was
as successful.
90% more than that. In the 70s or before that. So what we're saying is we still come a long way, but we're now where we're at in the 2025 version of it, we're getting those opportunities.
What stars are you
More.
talking about? It sounds like he doesn't agree with you, even though he's being pleasant. What stars are you talking about? Late '90s, 2000s.
I'm talking about like the Neil Longs and the Morris Chestnuts.
But those
and
were those were worldwide names.
No.
Worldwide.
You could.
Nia Long was huge.
No, but she
was the biggest name in the world.
but
Her
you
and Halle
could- but
Berry
you
were the
couldn't
two
get-
biggest names in the world.
You couldn't
Black
get a
actresses.
film green lit with her being the lead.
That's my point.
You could with Halle Berry. That's different though. Like they're not in the same playing field
Well, I'm
as
saying
far as that
the
kind of.
popularity was there.
I don't
The
even think Halle
popularity.
would have.
They weren't
got you a
getting
green light.
paid.
Yeah. I agree.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halle Berry
barely,
always
barely,
Huh?
barely. She get it barely. She
But-
got the Catwoman joint and she got the Gothica joint. You know what I mean? So she got a few.
But
I don't
she
know
wasn't-
Any, I don't
no,
know any
again-
Nia Long fans movies she did where she was the lead. It wasn't an ensemble piece.
Yeah, what
I
Nia
agree.
Long movie did she lead that got greenlit? Go.
That she was
that
the lead.
she was the lead.
No
And it
black,
wasn't an
no
ensemble.
black female was getting a movie greenlit in the 90s and 2000s. No, they weren't. That's what we're.
None,
that's the whole, that's
right?
Yeah, none.
You
Yeah.
had what's her name?
Not any movie with any real budget. Put it like that.
Not no $25 million movie. Not $50 million movies. Those movies, they're not going to Nia Long's, and they're not.
So
they're-
did
it
Girls
wasn't
Trip
happening.
change things, or is that it was already changed, and that's how you got Girls Trip? Because
It was changing and the
critically
budget
acclaimed
came
and
down.
made money, right?
Yeah.
Girls Trip did really well.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You know, ask Will Packer.
Yeah. Will.
You
Shout
know
out
what
to
I
Will.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
Good dude.
so
Will
once
gave me
in a
my
while,
first job in
something will-
business.
Something
Yeah,
will
great
sneak
dude.
in. Something will sneak in and do really well. But that's what I was saying. You had those examples of make the movie at a good cost. People want to see it, and they'll go
They
out
didn't
and
believe
they'll
it.
see it.
They
But
didn't
You
believe
almost
it was
buy belief. It's
They would not believe that.
I am 50 years old and I'm getting tired of race conversations because I swear it's just about
It's part of
culture, more capital. Like the only reason I remember I was thinking about going to Columbia Business School. Trust me, it was a quick thought, and I was like, hell no. But somebody was like, all right, in business school, the first thing they teach you is why you go out of business. And I was like, why? And they was like, all the same reason. And I was like, what is that? They was like, you run out of money. Yeah, like, it's just money. So I'm looking around, I'm like, you can buy like impressions. My favorite rap artist. If Above the Law would have had the budget of Snoop, it would have been a rap. Like, because Above the Law was making song heat after heat, hit after hit, but you don't get the backing. And I'm like, I'm hearing this conversation. It sounds like, once again, this is just nothing but capital. This is nothing but the economics.
Yeah.
And where is the black economics at this point to support black films?
There was none. Everybody
How,
at
Sway?
everybody at
You
that
mean
time.
the working capital? Are you talking about the working?
No,
Yeah,
that-
to make this
it's-
a big
there-
budget film.
There was only 5 billionaires were on the way to be billionaires, right? 500 million, 800 million, right? Black people in the 2000s, right? You had Oprah, right? That company. You had Overbrook, had Will's company. Denzel didn't have a company, right? He was just being greenlit because he was Denzel. So Tyler Perry hadn't
When
popped.
did Tyler Perry come into the
Tyler
picture?
Perry didn't pop, and, until 2010-ish.
Well, he was before that, but he was doing his own thing.
Yeah.
I'm
He
talking
had-
about with millions,
So we're saying
with
in
millions of
industry.
dollars behind you.
and see,
There was
Tyler-
it was not out there except for like
Yeah,
Overbrook
only-
So
and
Robert
Oprah.
Smith, we're not talking about that investment capital.
right.
They
support.
went and they would if,
Okay.
And
if
Robert Smith wasn't in the business.
Yeah, he wasn't in the
if
game then.
Will, Denzel, Eddie Murphy, if all of them would have went to Robert Smith in 2000 and said, "Give me $500 million to go make the next Sony," it probably would have happened. They didn't do that though.
When did Will make that movie with his son? The
After Earth,
Yeah, After Earth.
don't even bring that up.
But
Trash.
Pursuit of Happiness.
No,
After Earth.
After Earth.
That was the word. Yeah, don't bring. But he made.
that was during
Overbrook was on
Scientology.
fire from 2000 to 2010. Overbrook was on fire. They did ATL. They had
that's
Pursuit
dope.
of Happiness. They had
That's
Will
dope.
was on fire, but Will was with Sony. Sony was backing everything.
No,
not
no.
everything. You're right.
Universal was.
I'm sorry. You're
here's,
right. Sorry,
here's what
Universal
happened was, and my movie was supposed to be Will's big coming out movie at Universal, but what happened was Wild Wild West flopped.
Yes.
And something happened with Will and James and Universal, and they just went to war.
Yep.
And Will never made another Universal movie
Yep.
again. That's when they moved from Universal to Columbia to the Sony.
Sony lot. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. So
Yeah, we just don't have. We never had the backing. We needed our own big uncle for their $500 million to make 10, 15, 20, 30 movies over 5 years, and the whole industry would be different. But it just never happened.
there's a mindset, cultural conversation with the maturity of the wealth in the black community. A lot of times I get into the conversations, disagreements, or even arguments about we're just so young to money, like as a general group.
Yeah.
And I also hold us accountable. Like, and when we get it, we want to hold on to it for ourselves instead of want to kind of build it together, because that's what you do first generation. You buy the NFL chain. You buy the multiple cars. You show every girl that, now I'm cuter than, you thought I was, right? And then you get older like me. Dog, I used to be in them streets. Like, there's maybe somebody else out there, Stephon Diggs, I hear, is out in the streets. Other people. Dog, I was that guy. Like, for real. It was because I'm from LA. It wasn't even like I was in the streets. Like,
it was part of his lifestyle.
Dog, I was just like hanging with my homies. They're like, oh, you doing the most. I was like, no, I'm doing what we do. And so I look now. Look how I look now. I look dusty on purpose. I'm like, there's nothing I'm going to do.
Well, when you're rich, that's how you look, though.
And that's what's so crazy.
That's what we've learned.
matter.
The dude in the F-150 is the billionaire.
Is the
dude with the Rolls Royce with the rims on it spinning is making payments.
Yeah, and it's like I wanted to have this conversation because I wanted to put a lens to, one, we are in position to have these leading roles. Our boy, like a dude that you just literally chilling with, having a drink, like, oh, you. I took my kids to the movie, and there's like popcorn buckets with his face on it. And then a little like cartoon, and my boy's like, "That's your friend."
Yes,
I was
he at
like,
the house.
I was like, I know.
It's weird.
I don't know what to think. I'm just laughing, like, right? And then we're in that position, and then what I think will happen next is we'll get smarter about that position as we are. But then what's gonna happen is then that position's gonna flip. You good with this? Good. We got you there? Great. Now, Black Panther's white. You okay? No?
Yeah.
What's the problem? And other than the vibranium is...
I went there on you.
Yeah.
I threw you off.
Other than the vibranium argument, just be prepared. I don't even know if we got another one. Mr. T is going to be Mr. Timothy. Like, he's coming. And I'm okay with it.
Mr. Todd.
I think that's advancement.
Yeah.
I think that's progress.
Yeah.
I think that's on the horizon.
I mean,
I have
if
no
you,
problem with characters that are fictional being played by whoever. You know what I mean? Like Captain America, James Bond. Like these are just titles.
Yeah, because Idris Elba is going to be
I don't
Bond.
I don't care.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you're taking characters that are from a real life or whatever, and you're changing the race.
but that's
Like what? Give me one.
I'm trying to think of one.
Like Michael B. Jordan
he's
don't beat
taking,
James Bond.
right?
probably.
You're taking the Black Panther analogy. You can't take that and turn it into white, right?
But what white-
But I gave you the reason how you could do it.
But
Yeah.
That's why I made the
the
argument.
white people
Right.
are looking at it the same way. Sometimes we put a black person in that role.
Right.
They're gonna look at James Bond. James Bond got to be white. Right,
Yeah,
that's what
they-
they
they-
say.
but-
If you can't have no
but we all
Idris
know
Elba
James
play-
Bond's a
Hey,
code name.
I got
don't
the
know.
perfect one where they took it.
Because Superman from Krypton. And ain't
Ain't no black people in Krypton.
I got
You
the
said Krypton?
You right. They late. We
It
late.
originated.
Red and blue.
The originated.
Red and blue. Let's go.
Ask Serena. I got the perfect one that they flipped to white. Jesus.
Oh.
Okay.
No, that's true. Morgan Freeman played God in Bruce Almighty. He's a way to black God in that movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the President Black
Great
even
movie.
before Obama, didn't I?
Yeah,
I've seen
Jamie
that.
Foxx
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
yeah,
president. I know if Jamie could
Okay.
play the president.
Morgan Freeman.
Boy,
In House-
you do
in
know
House
the
Down.
Boy, am I right? And KRS-One is here.
That was a good one, though.
That was
That's
a
good.
great one.
I liked it. I like it.
All right,
I like
last
it.
one, man. I want to know, first of all, we had a running joke in here that it's fewer of us in here today because I went to the White House and then Cats was like, all right, Wiley, we do what we do. Peace. But I went to the White House, unbelievable experience, regal experience. Like, it's grand. I think our government spends $18 million a day on security because I've never seen more security in my life. I was like, damn, how do you even get shot?
Yes.
You know, like, how you get
All
shot
these
at?
people,
Like,
yeah.
You can't get to this dude. But I was like, oh, he wasn't the president yet. So he was on that bronze package, you know, like $2 million a day. Now he on that gold package, dog. I'm like, but I ain't gonna lie, just to keep it short, because I want to really hear from you guys. You walk in, it's the White House, dog. Like, politics aside, God, dog, this is it. And then you walk in there, and you're going through the security and all the people, and it's just so royal. And you're seeing big old paintings of Abe Lincoln to Michelle Obama. Like, you're just like, what the hell? Declaration of Independence stuff. Like, you're just like, this is insane. I am going through an entire class of, like, American history in 1 minute. Then you get in there, and it's like, you know, it's the black people invited to see Donald Trump. My first thought was like, how many of these fools corny? How many of these fools? like, I wanted to see some people like me. Like, you just voted for Trump. This is my first time voting for Trump. I didn't vote for him last time. I voted for Hillary. Point being, I'm like, I want to see some normal people. Like, yeah, I voted for Trump. It ain't that deep. I didn't want to see the one, I'm MAGA. I'm like I'm not MAGA. I'm just voting for Trump. And if he run against somebody I like, they're going to have to fight it out. Two things that were posed to me, and I want y'all to break it down to me. One, why are Republicans viewed as outsiders? Two, why are black Republicans viewed as sellouts? That was a pervasive conversation in there, and I saw Harry O there, which made me say, you know, some real ones. Kodak Black there, a bunch of people that I was like.
Harry O was there?
Yeah.
Harry O from
He got a pardon from.
He got a pardon from Trump though, so
like,
you better be there.
It was in 16, right? Or,
yeah, the last one.
2020.
I wonder how much that donation cost.
Man, I'm listening. That's the conversation. Yeah. So, Republican outsider instead of like half the country, 7 Democrat, 1 Republican. Why is that guy? Oh, watch his ass.
Well, you start with going back to the Reagan era. And Reagan's whole thing was the war on drugs.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
The war on drugs was just a war on black America. You know, we didn't start crack. We weren't with Oliver North and the arms dealers. We didn't have any of that stuff. So that was a war on us. And it was trying to hide other stuff.
Preach.
And so that's when the line of demarcation came with Republicans and Democrats hardcore, because Reagan jumped off his presidency, his campaign, by going to a city where there was some humongous big race thing, and somebody had gotten blamed for something, and it was like a real fire starter. And he purposely went there to drum up the white people and started doing race-based advertising for himself to become president. And that's when it really jumped off. And now we have the Republicans who are, not endorsing, but are not talking up against people doing how Hitler stances and white power stuff, and we know it's pervasive.
They got a sign? What you do? White power?
Yeah.
That's blood, cuz.
No, that's white power. That's white power. So when you see those,
every time Luka shoot,
right. So when you see those guys standing around and they're doing that, that's white power. That's what they're doing. So we feel like there's a group of people who don't have our best interests in heart, and a lot of other people's best interests in heart, and the Republicans are kind of
Matthew Hatchett.
Kind of
scary ass.
See,
we talk one thing about some black people with power. You gotta go.
That's because he's down in Huntington Beach now. They go.
He got to protect them donors. He got them donors. He's like, look, that's my base.
And that's where it comes from.
Wow.
So that's where it's coming from.
I come from Compton. Please don't think I'm banging. Please don't think I'm slanging. Please don't think I'm hanging. Like, I'm none of that. But are we still in that mindset that, your association means a greater affiliation, which means that's who you are? Is it that simple that Reagan did it, representing the party, but he's not the only representative of the party? Like, we're 40 years removed from that plus.
Sure.
And we're still being that simplistic about the associations?
Well, it's the policies. It's the things that are coming out of that group. that are.
We're talking Doge now.
Yeah.
We're talking Elon.
We're talking even as far as trickle down economics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something will give the billionaires, the people at the top, all the goods, all the money, and their crumbs will fall down to you.
Is that capitalism?
That's what trickle down economics are.
But couldn't that be trickle down any color at the top?
Yeah, but no, because the system it's rigged for them already. So the same way a real estate developer doesn't have to pay taxes and has loopholes and can get away with being a billionaire and never paying any taxes, you as a teacher, I couldn't do that.
But why is your associations? This is where it catches me every time. This is why I'm not racial. I'm racial agnostic in terms of like how I categorize people, because I know Robert Smith. You saying the top? He's the richest black person I know.
Sure.
He's the richest black person in America, right? So the point being, if he's that, isn't it rigged for him too? Because he's there.
Yeah.
You think about it like that?
It would be, but he's balancing that rig out with doing things that are socially conscious, giving donations, paying people's tuitions.
Didn't Trump do that? He hooked up the HBCUs more than any other president, at least in history.
Well,
and now
that's what he says.
Well,
that's what he says. But
damn, I am being ignorant.
Did he really?
I got to turn off the AC.
But
so yeah. So when we say the top,
and that's federal money. That's not Trump's money. That's the country's money.
But are we saying top? When you say trickle down, top them? Are we just talking money? And then if we qualify money, what are we saying then? Because it's a money conversation, not a color conversation.
But it also, everything starts with money, and then everything kind of moves down from that. But there's assaults on voting rights. There's assaults on things that have. It's really class warfare.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's
so
really,
all we got to do is get richer.
And the racial stuff gets mixed in with it, but it's really class warfare.
Right.
But see, nobody wants to be the lowest on the totem pole. So they pit poor black people against poor white people, against poor Latinos, against poor Asians, and then it becomes this thing about, I don't like your skin color and this and that and this and that and the other, and people are voting against their own self-interests. Yeah. Because their own self-interest would say, I need somebody who's going to protect Social Security. I need somebody that's going to protect Medicare.
Yeah.
I need somebody who's going to protect Pell Grants
programs.
So my kids can go to college.
Yeah.
And not that I have the money, not forget me if I can afford it or not, but my auntie may not have it. Yeah. My little cousins may not have it. So, you get people fighting against that kind of thing going back and forth, and they're not looking at the big picture.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. And I know, like, this is a narrative, and it's also a story well told about the minority that comes to America or is from America and goes from rags to riches, right? So, growing up in Compton and then growing up on welfare and then all of a sudden getting drafted and you make $5, I know that road. And I get a little fatigued talking about it because it's like rags to riches. But I will tell you the most important thing I learned from being the kid who didn't have any trouble growing up. Don't get it twisted. Nobody was fucking with me because my family was in them streets. And I didn't want them to be there, but because they were there, I didn't have to be there. Mm-hmm. And if you were from there or you weren't and you try to come to me, you got to deal with that. Then I get $5. And I remember when I got $5, how people were treating me. And it wasn't in the greatest contrast that most people think. What it was I was able to now dictate terms. Before, they dictated terms. But everyone was always nice to me. Mm-hmm. And if they weren't, guess who weren't nice to me? My own people, because I grew up in a black neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So I had a conversation with my boy who from the South. He's like, your racism was black on black. Our racism was white on black. And I was like, damn, that's interesting because we didn't know a lot of white people. So anybody who messed with me was a black person. People who messed with him, he said, growing up, were white people. I said, okay, I'm going to mark that. But when I got $5, this is what I want to tell the whole world, the whole community. Dawg, they ain't checking for your color as much as they checking for your pockets. And once them pockets qualify or don't, they'll go to other places to show you where they think of you. But the the dollar conversation, the class warfare, was the loudest conversation I ever heard. It wasn't Marcellus, you can or can't based on talent. It wasn't you can or can't based on research. It was can or can't because you could do it or you can't do it. Mm-hmm. So I'm in a position where I can take care of myself. I could try and take care of as much of my family as possible. But my message is you better take care of yourself because ain't nobody trying to do it. Whether it's Little League, this is the most ignorant thing I've ever done. Sorry. If it's Little League sports, if it's big league sports, if it's Little League conversations, big league politics, it's just about how much you got. You asked, when we brought up Harry O, what's the first thing you said? How much? Mm-hmm. It ain't got nothing to do with who he was. And if I can die in this world and leave one thing on my tombstone, it's like, get your paper up. Like, you'll see how different this world acts. Because when I go on vacation, and if I go somewhere nice and I'm looking around, nobody tripping because they already know the barriers of entry to be here.
Right.
Like, you know how much this room costs.
Right.
So we don't look at you like you black. We look at you like, oh, you good. Or I don't look at you like you white. I look at you like you good. And that's the conversation that I think more people should understand.
I think I just want to push back a little bit on the black on black crime thing that your friend brought up because, like, there's no such thing as black on black crime. It's crime, proximity. So you grew up around black people, you're going to have crime that's committed to you by black people.
Yeah.
You grew up around white people, it's white people that's committing crime.
Facts.
Your friend who grew up around white people, he might have grew up in a white neighborhood.
That part.
So that's the crime. So I don't. There's no such thing as black on black crime, whatever. It's just crime according to proximity. So I don't like.
We're going to have that conversation in depth, too. That's one of our topics.
Okay.
Black on black crime.
And I want to say is like, you know,
I like it.
The Republicans, if they just didn't let their minority voice be the loudest, the ones that come up as bigots and racists, they probably have more black people. Because traditionally, black people are very conservative. I don't know people who are more religious than black people. I don't know black people. We definitely have a good family structure. And when it comes to equality in sports, we don't want to see that mixed up with different gender thing going on. Like
transgenders, we ain't letting the boys play with the girls.
I couldn't think of the correct term because I don't want to get dinged for not saying the correct term or whatever. But like, there's a lot of things that we have that we do think that are fall on the conservative side that are traditionally black ideas and stuff. But like, people just don't want to align themselves with the racists, the bigots. Even though I might agree, and I'm not saying I don't, but maybe I do agree with 60% of it. That 40% is just too much, and I can't have that shade on me.
Like,
you know?
I mean, is what you're talking about is turning something like DEI into a weapon.
Right. Against black people.
Against black people.
When it was profiting white women. Yeah.
Exactly. And
farmers,
there's a reason that it's there.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I think if I had to just lazily say it, what I've noticed is in our country, the Republicans are this. Man, look, you better get it with your muscle. If you ain't got it, and look, I know how I got it, whether I worked for it or my daddy gave it to me. I got it. You ain't got it, tough luck. You flip it, the Democrats are like, we all need it. So we all should have a chance to get it. And if you don't think that way, then what's wrong with you? Like, you don't believe in all of us in equality, even though we know no one starts at the equal footing. I didn't start equal footing. Growing up, being on Dominguez Medical Center, which was Dominguez Valley Hospital, was not equal footing. That's not Cedars-Sinai in Beverly Hills, right? That's where my kids go. Or Cedars-Sinai in Tarzana. I didn't go there. Like, when I got, my nose got bloody, all right, well, we got, how many of our Medi-Cal stickers we got left this month? You feel me? So it's weird to go from both places to be like, I'm just trying to tell you, like, let me be the coach of both teams. If you ain't got it, they ain't trying to hear it, both sides. One side will act like they listening, but it becomes a money conversation. We're seeing that with all of the earmarks and what Doge is going through. California, $16 billion for a railroad that still ain't finished. Did I say billion?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's like, and I hate the politic conversation. I like the people conversation. Like, dog, we messing around. Like, we acting like this side better than that side. Both sides ain't nothing. It's about where we going together. And if we can go there together without saying Republicans, you're all racist, or not a lot of you. Black Republicans, you're sellouts. Democrats, you're woke. Like we literally put our own problems in front of us.
It's a lot of buzzwords.
Yeah, and then you don't make the play because you caught up in emotion. That ain't the play. He gonna run it or pass it. Make the play. You know what I mean? Like make the tackle. And I think the tackle to be made right now in our country is you gotta get it. Like I'm not saying you gotta be rich. You gotta be self-sufficient. And if you're not, they are not trying to really take it or give it to you because it's not for you. They're going to do what they want to do with it, and you're going to just be at the mercy of whatever their rule is. So,
what'd you think of the people?
Dog, I was thoroughly impressed by how many smart people I met, how many people weren't like cornbread. Like I just thought I was going to walk in there. I was like, man, I'm going to see of all these damn black Republicans. I don't want to hear how proud you are to not be typical, going with the narrative. Like, I just want you to be a real person who voted for Donald Trump, because that's who I was. I was a real person that voted for Donald Trump. And if he run against somebody else better next, well, he can't, but
he gonna try.
I was saying, hey, I was up in there. I was like,
if he do, it's gonna be him versus Obama. You know that.
Dog, they were chanting 4 more years. I'm like, yo, we got these right now.
Yeah,
if there's more,
heavyweight bout.
But yeah, I thought the people were really. One of your boys was there, right? As you said.
Yeah, one of my homeboys who I grew up with, he was there, and I wasn't surprised. You know what I'm saying? But like he's a respected dude.
Yeah,
and he's had a hell of a life for himself.
Yeah,
so I don't look down upon him. I mean, it is what it is. We can have a difference of opinions, and we can still get along. You know what I mean? So like, I'm happy for him. He looked happy, so and I'm happy for you too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the drinks were free. free. I like Trump. You spending all our money. Forget Doge. You needed to do efficiency on this party. This party had to cost about $3 million, bro. Like it was a big party.
It was the food. The food was good too.
Food. I didn't eat the food. It was weird. It was like, go to the table and get your food. It wasn't like a sit down, which I'm glad because they would have made it too formal. Like he was like, go get your food over there. It's prime rib and all that. Like it was top shelf. Next level. But I was like, nah, I was just really interested in meeting people and hearing their perspectives, because I hate when someone is based on defiance. I'm not a fan of like, I'm this because I'm not that. Like, I ain't want to hear somebody tell me Democrats suck. I was like, no, don't do that. Because you're talking about me for like 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And this time you ain't got me, but next time you might, So I was really impressed by how many people were just normal. But there was still that connectivity of like, we're outsiders. We're on the outside. Like, we ain't supposed to be here. And people are mad at us for being here. So I'm going to be more proud. And I'm like, once we get past that point, I think we're going to have a unified country. Once the Democrats don't feel like we lost the election and nothing we could do is right and people were tripping. Like, once we lose these sensibilities that are attaching to our vote, I think we'll be in a better place. So next time I go, I'm going to invite you. I know where the invite going. I know where my trash can is, but I would love to have y'all there, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Episode 12 of On the Rocks. We'll see you on the next one. Ooh, that's supposed to be lucky or unlucky. What is that?
Lucky.
Let's get
Lucky
into
13.
it. Hey, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Tony, that dude entertainment at Gmail. Email me, dog. We got to get you right, bro. All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, Tony, we got to get you right,
Tony.
bro. We got to get you. And next time you go, the W Hotel next to the White House.
Is it? That's the one?
Ooh-wee.
Really?
Yeah,
I ain't
boy.
stay there. I stayed at the Ace or AC or something. I don't know. Me and my wife got in a fight. I was like, she wanted to go hang out too much. I was like, damn, you like two Republicans. I just came because I got invited by the president. I was like, she want to go to the after party. I was like, the president going? She's like, no. I was like, I ain't going there.
That's hilarious.
All right, y'all. Peace.